Happy Columbus Day, everybody. How are you all doing? I am so happy to be here again. We're coming hot off the trails of this Exorcist stream where we talked about the Exorcist, the OG, and we're in Schlocktober week 2. We're going to do a nice little recap of week 1. We're going to talk about our favorite personal Halloweens. We're going to talk about Exorcist Beliver. Holy shit, I saw it. I can't believe it. Happy Christopher Columbus Day, guys. This is a tradition. I always do these streams on Mondays, even back in the old Facebook days. And, yeah, I'm glad to be doing another Italian Pride Day parade for y'all. Also, yeah, shout out to my, 247th subscriber. Wow, I'm 3 subscribers away from doing my karaoke song, guys. It's going to happen. And yes, of course, special thanks to Cannoli Sasquatch and Vex Electronica and Jay and everybody, White Bear, also Uninspired, doing that Exorcist stream, gracing my presence. I removed myself. Sorry. Anyway, thanks for having me on. Josh, glad you're here. Jay Goodwin, how you're doing? You okay, Jay?
Absolutely.
I liked how you were definitely you were definitely cracking the knowledge on what blue films were, and what else was it?
Blue Laws.
A few other things. Yes, very, very wise. Adam, how you doing? Blue Collar.
Hey.
So glad to see you, man.
Good evening.
Yeah, I assume Toxic might come in later, but did you guys see Believer yet?
Yes.
Hell no.
I watched the trailer.
I watched Red Letter Media shred it today.
Yeah, I'm so glad that came out today. They talked about a few things I wanted to touch on, but Blue Collar, what'd you think?
I mean, boy, I wanted to have a reaction. I first texted you that I liked it in the sense that at first, because I've been listening to every one of your fucking Schlocktober's, and I couldn't watch it seriously. I kept thinking about like how you would find a way to make this shit funny because it's such a fucking awful film. And that's why
I think many people would. I mean, I did. Yeah. I was like finding myself pausing it, and yeah, like I definitely made this tweet. It's not a tweet anymore.
Thank you. You're the first person. You got me blocked on Twitter. I'm happy. I'm so proud of you that I got my first Twitter block.
I got you blocked by someone else on Twitter. Is that what you're saying?
Somebody get me banned from Twitter, please.
Yeah, I actually I've been on Twitter.
From Twitter. It was easy.
I was on Twitter for a while just to like read stuff because they made you have to have like an account just to read stuff. And then I, only until recently have I started like actually trying to, promote the stupid channel. But I'm getting followers and following people. It's fun. But I got to say, I was proud of myself because I saw a lot of people talking about the meme. And I was happy that, and in fact, I got a couple reposts saying, this is the guy who got the actual dialogue correct, verbatim, of the patriarchy line, because a lot of people were like paraphrasing it. And then, of course, eventually the video started surfacing of the clip. But what Blue Collar's talking about is, we've got a lot of people, joking about how funny it is and yada yada. And then we've got this one lady.
Oh yeah.
Additional replies. Writer Kola Boof. I don't know if this is a satire, but she's a best-selling Egyptian Sudanese novelist for Feminists Need Dick Too. I highly recommend that book. Diary of a Lost Girl, Sex Part of the Bible.
That's gotta be a
I don't
parody.
know. She's a Pisces. But she's over here telling everyone about
Any girl who asks your sign, you stay away from.
Yeah, no.
At least she doesn't. I mean, she doesn't have her pronouns, did she? No. So
that's good. That's good.
I'll accept the horoscope if you don't have your pronouns on.
No, I think horoscope was like the early pre-pronoun indicator of crazy.
If anyone gives me their pronouns, it means I probably don't want to be friends with you.
Yeah, that's a
good way to know.
Ukrainian.
But if they also lead off with "Hi, I'm a Libra," run.
Oh
yeah.
You ever work with actors? They're always like, "What's your sign?" I'm like, "I don't know. Let's get stuff done."
Dude, people ask.
Would you like to see the other one?
People ask me my sign, and I say Scorpio, and they always say, "Oh, that totally makes sense." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
does
if
that
anyone
mean?
asks,
Fuck
my
you.
pronouns are "fucking you."
Yeah. My sign is feces, sign of the times, and my pronoun is sir.
I love was it Ethan Van Sciver? I'm an army kin. I identify as they them because I'm a one-man army. Army kin.
I use the royal we.
The royal we. It's so funny. But yeah, as far as like what's funny about this lady is she blocked Blue Collar because he came in talking about the appendix. I had doctors remove my appendix. They were all men. I don't think my mother was telling them, "Hey, you didn't let me in because of patriarchy." But I was like basically trying to.
Whoa! Why is she presuming your gender?
Oh yeah, she definitely keeps saying that I'm not a woman. Which
You're not a woman. Hey,
I let that slide.
What's
slide.
The point is, you gotta go after that shit.
I want
to live by the rules that they set.
Identify as a doctor.
Yeah.
I
wanted
care
to
less
argue
about
with
that
hey,
and
Barbara,
more about whether
Barbara
they let
Lawrence
you
is
keep
in
your
the chat.
appendix.
Hello, Barbara. But yeah, this woman was saying, that it's not supposed to vibe tonally with me. I was saying it doesn't work in the movie. The line, and I'll say it right now, but it's like I didn't actually witness it. The exorcism, they wouldn't let me in. Why not? My opinion, because I'm not a member of the damn patriarchy. And the
reminds me
problem
of
with
that
the line is it comes so late.
It reminds me of that line in the Batman that they shoved in. I forget what it was. There was a line that just stood out at the end of the movie, like
the one Catwoman delivers about
privileged white people.
Yeah, I was just greatly amused when Red Letter Media just kept fading in all of the people who made this movie and wrote it and all that stuff. All a bunch of white men. I'm very interested in your opinions on the patriarchy, male feminist, who will probably get busted for sexual assault in the future.
So is it still called Twitter or is it X or what's going on?
I don't know.
I have
still
no
Twitter.com.
It's the artist formerly known as Twitter.
I mean, technically it is X, but no one calls it X.
No one is going to call it X.
Yeah, no.
But what's funny is I was just saying the reason why the line doesn't really work is because it's like it's a funny line, both ironically and non-ironically. If you're not into the whole feminist thing, then it's funny. And if you are, like she said, this lady says, like everyone in my theater was like, woo, hooting and hollering. Yeah, a lot of women grunted amen, sister, when she said it. It really wasn't about priests of the exorcism. And I was like, right. The point is, even if I did agree with it, it's like, imagine we all start hooting and hollering and laughing because of the line. And then after the applause subsides, we all get quiet. And it's like, okay, so back to your daughter that's possessed by the devil. Like, it's just so totally wrong. And also like even the man laughs, the father. It's like, hi, I'm here because I'm desperate father. And you wrote a book called The Mother's Explanation about your daughter being possessed by the devil. And I think I'm going through something similar. And the patriarchy line. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Patriarchy. Right. Anyway,
the plot is they write a book about someone being possessed.
Yeah.
Dude, Ellen Bierstein writes her tell-all book about the thing. And her title of the book of what she went through in the first movie is called A Mother's Explanation.
So this is like evidence for real, but the opposite.
Yeah, dude. It's like, that's the worst title for that content. People are going to read that book and find out about the crucifix stuff and just be like, what the fuck?
An actual writer wrote that title.
Wes Kelly, hey kids, that's the new leftist tool. They say their dumbass argument to block whoever argues. Oh yeah, well, like I said, I'm still on the point on the fence if this is a parody account or not.
Well, I appreciate the fact that it's Cola Booth 3. Like there's 2 other Cola Booths out there. That's her handle. Cola Booth 3.
You guys have never met someone named Cola?
No.
But yeah, no. This is such a lame line. I don't know what line she's talking about.
How's the rest of the movie though?
It's bad. It's awful. First of all, the music I was talking about in the Exorcist stream earlier, that there's only like 3 or 4 instances of non-diegetic music, and all 3-4 instances is like real short. Sometimes it's not even. There's a couple instances that some might count as music, but I think it sounds more like a train horn or something. But it's like, there's hardly any music in the movie. This movie is filled with stupid fucking music. And then also at the end, like, so over the top. You've got like, in the old movie, she vomits a little bit. She shits herself a lot in the book. Nothing too crazy. In this new one, she levitates. And instead of just levitating and going back down, she levitates, fucking literally like breathes fire and shits and pukes like blood all over the ceiling. And like the whole room like fucking shakes and stuff, and it's just so over the top. And the best part is like the Red Letter Media guy says, is like hardly anyone's really reacting to it. And it's also lame because there's like a whole ensemble of people in the room.
Well, like, how many times have we seen that?
Yeah,
since the original Exorcist. Like,
did anyone
not only that, but it was probably shot with just blue screen.
Oh, I remember Homestar.
Yeah.
Someone's got to make a Trogdor meme with the girl breathing fire with Trogdor. I need that in my life.
We are a bunch of white racist men, and it's
probably.
National Navajo Appreciation Day. That's Columbus Day, or National Genocide Day, as Adam Gray said. It's pretty hardcore. But you got, the Spanish are responsible for all that. You can't give Columbus all the credit.
Did Danny McBride write it, or what did Danny McBride?
He thought he landed in India, for fuck's sake.
He was like one of 3 writers for the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's what's cool about Columbus. Back to Danny McBride. Yeah, Danny McBride. He's hit or miss. Like all of his stuff with Righteous Gemstones and Eastbound and Down and Vice Principals. Those are like peak TV in my opinion. But yeah, his serious stuff. Like I liked the first Halloween one, redo, but like this Exorcist Believer. Like I don't think this is like trying to say Exorcist 2 and 3 didn't happen. Like the Halloween movie is.
For context, this is Blumhouse. I mean, they've got the rights now.
Yeah, and it's so the funniest thing is after the fact you find out that fucking Universal paid $400 million for the rights of the Exorcist franchise.
Epically stupid.
I heard that.
I didn't know that. I thought this movie was a cheap little horror movie, and I did think it was interesting that it was Universal. I was like, that seems different. I thought it was Warner Brothers. Anyway,
they'll make it up on merchandising.
I guess.
I mean, what are you selling? Are they going to make a PG cartoon like they did with RoboCop in the 90s for kids of The Exorcist? Oh no,
Rambo,
possessed child, everybody.
Do like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer style show that's hit for the kids.
It's about a kid pea soup vomiting action.
No, it's about a young Max Van Sydow, Father Marin, being a hip priest, doing exorcisms every week.
He has a rap too.
I celebrate Columbus Day by getting lost in the grocery, looking for spices. Barbara Lawrence says, yes. Well, what's cool about Christopher Columbus is he found the way to the Americas, or what he thought was India, or the new land, or whatever you want to call it. But what's different from him and the Vikings and everyone else is he went back to where he came from and he told everyone else how to get there. And he did 3 or 4 trips and he kind of charted the currents. So because of him,
is impressive, but I mean,
someone else, and if he hadn't done it, someone else would have. So
up here in Canada, we call it Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Happy Thanksgiving.
I got 2 Thanksgivings because I got Canadian and American family. So, I never really thought of it as Columbus Day.
Well, I've said before on my previous Columbus Day streams, like if it wasn't for him, like the Swiss wouldn't have chocolate, the Italians wouldn't have tomatoes, the fucking, we wouldn't have, the Americans wouldn't have coffee? Coffee's from there. We wouldn't have coffee.
And the natives wouldn't have smallpox. So
there you go.
Gonorrhea.
Yeah, and like I said, all the atrocities.
Syphilis, so it was a good trade.
All the atrocities that we give Columbus for were actually committed by the Spanish settlers that came after Columbus. So what are you going to do? Right.
Yeah.
But Blue Collar, what else were your thoughts about, Exorcist Believer?
Yeah,
I hated that title too.
I know. Well, like people joked about bringing the biggest marketing tool was, hey, look, we're bringing the mom back after 50 years, and okay, she's in the film for 9 minutes.
I was glad she was in the movie for 9 minutes. I wasn't glad that she was in the movie for 2 minutes and then gets her eyes stabbed out like in the 3rd minute. Spoilers, I'm sorry, but like just so disgraceful to the character. And someone in the comments trying to suggest that is like, supposed to be like leading up to the cool sequel where she's like, I don't know, supposed to be doing something cool as a blind woman. I don't know.
Supposedly this was going to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be betting money on that right now. I don't think it's making back that 400.
Ryan Johnson's going to do the second one.
Yeah.
I feel like The Nun 2 did better than this film.
Yeah, because those movies cost shit. They don't have like a $400 million
acquisition
price break before they even break ground on the movie.
That's what I heard.
A Blumhouse movie, but not with the Blumhouse model.
Yeah, because it was like 30 million to make this.
Yeah, like I said, if I thought originally this is just a cheap Blumhouse movie and it's probably going to make its money back and it's going to do fine, but then I found out like Universal paying that insane amount for the rights, and I hope that other films were also included in the rights of that package deal, but like holy fuck, if that's just for the Exorcist property, no way.
That's
no
nuts.
way.
Like 400 million for just The Exorcist.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
heard
granted,
too.
you get The Exorcist and all of its shitty sequels. Like you've got 3, which is scary, and not it's scarier than part 1, but not as good. But you've got part 2, which is trash, and then you've got Legion, which is trash. Both versions of fucking Exorcist Dominion or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, the 2 Exorcist 4s.
Yeah,
What?
I mean it's because there was like
they did the same movie twice. It was like different cuts of the movie.
It was like the director was making it, and then production interference got crazy, and they released it, and it was a bomb. And then the director like did the Zack Snyder thing, where it's like you released my version,
Justice
and
League.
that was also
Superman
a bomb.
Yeah, and what are you getting really like? It's not like you're buying the rights to The Godfather. So, who hasn't seen The Exorcist that isn't going to watch it already? Like, this is not a profitable decision.
Now, when they bought the distribution rights, do they get the distribution rights to the original film and the film print and everything? Because they just did a 4K of The Exorcist. Are they making money off of that, perhaps?
Maybe.
Even then, how the hell are you making $400 million out of this?
I agree.
I don't know. I mean, 4K is expensive, and film transfers are not cheap.
And there must be a criterion already of The Exorcist.
There is not.
I don't know. There's not.
No. Yeah.
That's what's
a great criterion. To be a great idea.
I mean, like I said, it was such a great monument. Like I said, it was the first blockbuster before the 70s blockbuster before Jaws and Star Wars were doing the summer blockbusters. There was The Exorcist, 1973. What's also cool is like I was talking about this earlier, like I'm on some fucking stupid pirate site, but it's like you look up Exorcists, like not Exorcist or Exorcism, but like every movie with that in the title. And like obviously there's some animes, ignore those, but like on Shark Exorcist, whatever the fuck that is.
Shark Exorcist.
But like every one of these movies
actually
has, like,
Red Letter Media covered that movie in one of the best of the worst.
Probably.
Isn't all sharks demon possessed? Is that not how it works?
But
no, it's like a demon shark thing possesses comes and then there's a lot of whoever filmed it is clearly like a porn guy who at least loves women,
it's
showing
just shitty.
themselves.
It's just average looking girls in bikinis being filmed on a shitty camera.
Okay, now I don't want to watch that. I just made my way through all 4 Toxic Avengers, and it hurt me inside to watch any of them past 1.
But what's so funny is, like I was gonna say, like you got Exorcist 3 and The Exorcist, and arguably Exorcism of Emily Rose. The movies with the lamest fucking cover art are the scariest ones.
Yeah.
All the ones that have like crazy clawed hands and demon faces, I'm sure they're shit. You got an upside down lady covered in a room full of scat. What the fuck is going on in this room? Exorcist Vengeance. I don't know. It's all garbage.
Did anyone see the Pope's Exorcist? Because I was sort of bored by that one.
The one with Russell Crowe.
Yeah, he was just like, "Hi, I'm Russell Crowe. Oh no, bad things." And that
Critical Drinker got a spot on the press junket with him.
Yeah, interviewed him.
It wasn't bad.
Cool.
That's why I respect the Drinker for it. Because the Drinker, even after talking to Russell Crowe, he still didn't give the movie high praise. So you got to give him credit. He's like, even though I interviewed the guy,
tell an actor, hey, your movie was okay to his face in front of like 100,000 people or whatever. That's funny.
I think he tried very hard to not talk about that movie until like the end when it was mandatory, because it was basically okay. So let's talk about
I'm contractually
Let's
obligated
talk about all this stuff. All right, now do the obligatory this dog shit.
Gotta mention it.
Yep.
Favorite Russell Crowe movie? Oh God,
Master and Commander, easy.
Yeah, probably.
Master and Commander is pretty damn good.
I don't like Gladiator a whole lot. I thought Gladiator.
I love the Robin Hood from 2010. Super underrated. The director's cut specifically.
Oh yeah, I thought. Yeah, see, I think Gladiator kind of signaled like the beginning of the end for Ridley Scott. Everyone was loving it. It's like one of the things I agree with Toxic on is like,
I thought
Gladiator was overrated. Yeah, overrated and just not like the old Ridley Scott I grew to love.
What do you think of Napoleon coming out then?
I mean,
we'll see.
I hope it's good. Faith.
I don't give a shit about any of these made for platform movies, even if they do get theatrical releases. Like, was this an Amazon movie?
I have no clue.
Probably.
I just know it's coming out.
Or is it Netflix? Every time Netflix suggests it to me, I just keep scrolling. I have no idea.
Netflix picked up The Killer.
I'm scared about that because it's David Fincher doing the comic book. And the comic book's really good too.
Confidential, yeah. Barbara said in the chat. Yeah, that would be my vote, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think I'd still go with Master and Commander, but LA Confidential is probably number 2.
I like Virtuosity.
Does anyone like The Insider, the one about the smoking insider from the 90s?
Yeah.
It was really early careers. I think it's
good
pretty good
for,
performance.
journalism movie, expose movies. Spotlight.
It's
I
still
like
better
that
than
one.
War Dogs.
Yeah, War Dogs was lame. War Dogs was trying to do what Lord of War was doing, and Lord of War was already like okay. It wasn't great.
Yeah, that's a B-.
Yeah, I like Andrew Nichols' earlier movies like Gattaca and Simone. Simone's one that I realized is like really ahead of its time and also very underrated, and not a lot of people seen it. Al Pacino is like a struggling director, and he makes a synthetic actress digital on the computer, using stolen software that he's been given to by a mad scientist who dies of a fucking brain tumor.
Max Headroom wore it better.
Yeah, Max Headroom. That was one of the riffs that me and my cousin did that we never released. We did a few of those weird. We did Rem Lazar and Max Headroom and that little Indian secret agent guy. What's his name? That little midget guy.
I don't know.
He was so damn good as Bud. Yeah, LA Confidential. James Cromwell in LA Confidential.
The Nice Guys. The Nice Guys is a fantastic Russell Crowe movie. I adored that film.
My kid watched
really funny.
My kid was watching that today.
That might be one of my favorite Ryan Gosling roles too.
Yeah, that is brilliant.
When he slices his arm open and busts in that window, that's fucking so A+ of a scene.
Yeah,
he's swimming with the mermaids.
I love Cinderella Man. He got in great shape for that movie too.
Yeah,
I recently rewatched Cinderella Man because I watched it when it first came out. I was like, man, this is pretty good. And I watched it again. I was like, this doesn't hold up as well as I remember.
Yeah,
it's still a decent movie. It's just it doesn't stay as high.
Yeah, I didn't like Cinderella Man. I hated Beautiful Mind because
Beautiful Mind was shit.
They didn't talk about any of the stuff about how he was gay and his wife left him because he was like a gay man and stuff. Like,
I know about that. Sure.
Yeah, why don't you talk about any of that? That seemed pretty important. At the end, like his
Ron
wife
Howard,
is by his side. His wife's like by his side, like applauding as he receives some award for his life or whatever. It's like that's not how it happened at all. What the fucking
yeah, they suddenly made it like I mean, again,
You break out there, or is that me?
I think we lost.
No, I can't hear nothing either. It's
just Jay.
Jay, come back.
R.I.P. Emperor Goodwin. He'll be back, I'm sure.
Well, I was looking, and so it says the Exorcist films, they've made $600 million at the box office. Be figured that's over the course of also 50 fucking years. That's not
but with inflation, it's one of the highest grossing horror films, highest grossing R-rated films, highest grossing Warner Brothers films of all time.
Yeah.
What are the highest grossing horror films of all time? I'm curious.
I mean, Exorcist is probably number one.
Jaws.
Jaws would be. Yeah.
I think it's more of a drama,
monster movie.
Shark, but
monster movie. I mean, I'd count it.
Would Halloween be up there at all? That one was.
No, that movie didn't make a bunch of money. That's the thing I was talking about on the stream before we, right before we closed out, was I was saying how The Exorcist is so good because, it transcends the genre. You get so many people to watch a certain kind of genre film that they normally wouldn't, just because it's done so well.
I bet
the same thing was done with Star Wars.
The original Halloween made pretty good money.
Yeah, after
you're back.
Box office.
Yeah, the internet fall down and go boom.
It's okay. Beautiful Mind was just sad. Yeah, that's one of those movies I should rewatch, like all these like early 2000 movies that I thought were mid when I was in high school, and an aspiring little cinephile, and rewatch them as a 37-year-old man and just see if they still think they're mid or how bad they are. Because I gotta admit, I only watched it once in the theater, A Beautiful Mind, and I was like, meh.
Yeah, it was pretty meh. I don't know if I want to go back to that one.
I think I have occasionally. It is not improved.
Have an interest.
Well, something I wanted to talk about with y'all, just because this is such a cool topic. It was a good question of the day. I think it was Josh's question, or
what was my question?
No, not your Josh. Another Josh. But the point is,
so many Joshes.
What were some of your guys' favorite, personal, Halloween stories growing up? What did you guys get up to on trick or treat night, and maybe even in your early 20s and shit, going partying? We could talk about that alone for fucking hours, I think. Jesus.
I remember I was 22, 23, and took a heroic dose of mushrooms and ended up at a house party with a guy actually literally strapped to a cross as Jesus. And he stayed there all night, and
that's pretty baller.
That was pretty impressive.
Did he get laid at all, or?
Well, people would walk up to him and give him sippy cups of whatever the punch was that night and stuff, but he just was full of one-liners. It was great.
Anyone go up and stab him in the ribs with a spear or anything like that?
I don't know, I was watching the carpet crawl most of the night, so I don't know.
I went to Montreal shit.
My freshman year in college, I had a buddy that was going to St. John's in Santa Fe, and so I drove up there for Halloween, and we dropped acid, and so we're going around because there were different people watching different movies, and I think half the campus had dropped acid at that point. But we started out watching Aliens, and we were having a pretty good time with that. And then a buddy of his is like, dude, we're watching some movies, come see it. And so we're sitting there, we're watching Apocalypse Now. And
on acid.
On Halloween.
And it's on the river.
You guys are
on the river as you're starting to get into the look. We were already having things smear, but then you get kind of that smeary right before they get to Kurtz, right? And I turn and look at my buddy, and he has his entire fist inside his mouth. And I look at him and I'm like, have you ever seen this movie? And he just shakes his head no. And I was like, oh, you're gonna have a fucked up day.
Bye.
Okay, what is it about Apocalypse Now? Why is it so great? What am I missing? I'd really love to hear you guys tell me why you love it, because I don't get it. I don't dislike it. I just don't understand it.
It just talks about like the horrors that men are capable of, and also this brutal, unflinching, and unorthodox version of what we know as a war movie.
When I watch it, it's partly of the movie, but to me, the process is amazing. If you haven't seen Hearts of Darkness, it's hard to fully appreciate what an insane production that was.
I started with Hearts of Darkness and then watched Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, I think the more interesting thing is so it starts out, you're in modern times, at least for when it's happening, right? And as you go, it's a constant descent into more and more primitive, right? The director's cut includes when they stop at the French plantation, which is reflective of because the French were involved in Vietnam before we were, and got their asses kicked, and we came in to start helping them. It's the reason that we started sending in advisors initially. But as you go, and then you get to Kurtz, and everything has devolved to absolute tribal, basic animalistic kind of thing. And to Kurtz's credit, the reason that he's shocking to people is that he recognizes more than anybody else in the movie that war is very much a brutal animalistic thing, and that in order to be effective, you have to put away all of your modernity and just revert back to that primitive self. And so you see the crew kind of going through that, where at one point, they just have people throwing sticks at him, and yet it ends up killing.
Yeah, you have to uncivilize yourself and just get back to that primordial, I have to go kill a man.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to kill a man.
I know for some people I talked to in the military, that a friend of mine once said that, Chris, you ever notice that out of all the war movies out there, why do we keep going back to video games, comics, TV shows, back to World War II? I'm like, I don't know. He goes, think about it. World War II, we were the good guys. And he goes, Vietnam at the time period was very, very hard to talk about, because America doesn't want to, they don't want to admit the fact that we got our asses kicked, and technically speaking, we didn't win that war. And it's the one war that we got fucking embarrassed. And
it was
World War II is the last one you won. Also, it was the last declared war.
Yeah.
Vietnam was the last televised war. After that, they shut the cameras off.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is that World War II was televised in as much as
that's why we lost,
because they brought back huge film.
Vietnam,
They showed a lot of the nastiness of especially the Japanese theater. That all existed. Korea is a police action.
Yeah.
We essentially are winning until the Chinese roll in, and then we end up having a stalemate for another couple of years.
Nothing has technically been a war since.
Right. All it is a ceasefire.
Yeah.
What about the Gulf War? Would that be considered a war, or is that just like
I mean, that's like talking about Panama or Grenada, right? It's an
Fair.
ass whooping.
Grenada, yeah.
Not to mention the shift in tone from America. Like, figure in World War II, if you came back, you were a hero. How many fucking stories you hear about people come back from Vietnam and like they would spit in your face, baby killer, piece of shit, fascist, et cetera, et cetera. Like the military guys were not respected when they came back home, and that gave a lot of guys PTSD and a lot of shit to go through, because these guys were 17, 18 years old. They could have come back as heroes, and American civilians weren't the most gracious towards our boys coming back from Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean, even that was a split, though. What really happened is that you had the '60s, the late '60s especially, happen, and so all of the hard left activists were showing up to harass the military, to talk about how the military were baby killers. You have Jane Fonda going to North Vietnam to talk about the vast majority. And there's a reason Nixon wins 2 elections and not even close, right? Is that the vast majority of people were in favor of the soldiers and all that stuff, but that's not what they encountered, and it's certainly not what they encountered in the media, where everything is going on, right? So it's hard. It's often hard to divorce the, it's like people that think that what goes on in Twitter is actually reflective in any way of reality.
Yeah.
Right. You have less than 10% of the population of the U.S. on Twitter.
That's true.
Now start looking at the people that are actually active, right? On any platform. It's usually 10 to 1 or worse as a ratio of people who are active versus people who just sit and read.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like it was like a political time where if you knew people who went through it, the movie means more to you more than anything.
No, I think even if you watching it entirely divorced from Vietnam, what you see is very much and look, I had a great uncle who was a Merrill's Marauder, right? Who was dropped in Burma, and they're like, "Hi, you're dropped. We will try and drop food on you occasionally in the jungle, but otherwise, you may be screwed." Right?
Watch out for our own airstrikes.
Right, and oh, by the way, watch out for your own people, because they were so desperate they were stealing food from each other. And so my uncle Bill, who was a Marine, he was a DI, and then he did 3 tours in Vietnam, would constantly talk about how we had it easy. We used to go back to a forward operating base every night, right? We'd go on patrol and then come back, and we get hot meal and all that stuff. Bill Haney, my great uncle, was in Burma for like 9 months, and there wasn't any resupply to begin with. I mean, they had over 200% casualties, and because of disease, because of enemy action, and there wasn't an easy way to get them out. Right? War has always been a nasty thing, and we kind of grew up in an era where it was, it's the World War II movies. It's all sanitized. You get shot. Ooh, you go on without me. All this stuff, right? You don't hear people screaming for their moms. You don't see them walking around trying to hold their guts in, or trying to pick up their arms or legs that have been blown off while they're trying to get back up, right? Because the shock hasn't hit them that they've actually, they're dead. They just don't know it yet, right? And you kind of see that process continue with Korea, where, well, we don't want to get too crazy because it may escalate or whatever. So let's just hold our line, because MacArthur was advocating nuking the Yalu River to keep the Chinese, once they started coming across. He's like, I can end this real quick. Yeah, that didn't go over so well, right? And in Vietnam, it's very much micromanaged, and, well, we have to worry about this, but not this. And you see that confusion, and when you are in stress situations where it's life or death, people revert to the animal, right? The difference that you see with like some of the later, especially Gulf War, is that's the most sanitized, let's sit back and press buttons kind
Video
of thing that's going on, right? And you don't actually get into it. You weren't up. Yeah, it's the 4th largest army at the time, but it was like me playing basketball with a 10-year-old. Man, I'm throwing your shit off the court. That's exactly how it happened.
Yeah.
Right. But get into it where there's a much different tone that you see in Iraq and Afghanistan afterwards. That is much more traditional war, right? You are in and you're grinding, and you don't have the ability to just overwhelm and defeat a standard army that's uniformed and moves in proper military order with all, right? You don't know who somebody pops out and they're just wearing normal clothes. Is that a normal civilian, or is that a guy with a bomb strapped to him, right? And so you start to see an increase again in both, PTSD and certain atrocities that happen, certainly on both sides, right? War is a nasty thing. Don't fuck around with it. Don't do it unless you're serious. And if you're serious, you go in and you win it. And the only way that you win a war is to make the enemy realize it is no longer worth fighting.
Yeah.
That's a crazy Halloween then.
That's why we need more horror-based war movies like Overlord and stuff like that.
Yeah, what was the Keep? Was the Keep the one where the World War II where they go into like the castle and it's actually haunted and there's all kinds of crazy shit going on.
What was the one with the zombie, the first big Nazi zombie one that came out? I don't know.
Oh, Dead Snow.
Dead Snow.
Dead Snow. Yeah.
That was
those
good.
were fun.
I still recommend Shockwaves with Peter Cushing from 1977.
There you go.
There is a dirty copy on YouTube, and I've been trying to get it past
the dead zombies in the water that come out.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's fantastic.
Here are some of my good Halloween costumes over the years. Here's Walter Sobchak.
Is that you?
Nice. Yeah, that's me.
Nice.
Here's me last year. This is one of my most recent costumes. I'm still wearing the same shirt right now for the Exorcist stream. I went as a goth guy. That was fun. And then I sang nothing but like goth songs at karaoke that night. It was great.
Was it just all MCR?
I did 9 Inch Nails and fucking Deftones and Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie.
It looks like my yearbook picture, bro.
Yeah. Here's how I see. I wasn't ever really like a goth kid. I was a stoner band kid,
Is that a real piercing or is it fake?
No, it's all fake. It's all fake.
I hoped it was real. I hope you committed.
No. Here's my Halloween decorations. This is the best way to put up your pumpkin. You don't core it. You just like carve it and then put all the fucking pumpkins out on the ground. Very good. Here's another thing. Halloween candy in this thing. This cool mask. This mask is actually behind me. Can't see it right now because I got the green screen up. But this creepy vampire mask. Also, funny ass story. One year for Halloween, because you have to understand, I lived in Austin on a street called Candy Drive with K, and this neighborhood took this shit super seriously. Halloween and Christmas, you had to decorate your house. You had to do the Halloween trick or treat. Christmas, cars would come from out of the area to drive down our street. You can see our street from space. Yeah.
Real serious.
Yeah, you have jets landing on the road because they think it was the airport. Yeah.
We had, because we were on Candy Drive, we had candy cane lights. Everyone had to have these candy cane lights that were on the front part of your perimeter. And it wasn't like you had to. It was like not like an HOA or anything. It was like one time where like I bought the lights to be fun, and you put them in the ground in the front perimeter, like they all have to face the same way with all the other houses, And
peer
it's like,
confirmed.
peer pressure, whatever. But then like they're such a bitch, they don't stay in the ground. You have to throw away the stakes they come with and get your own industrial stakes so they stay in the ground. And one year after, because I lived in the same house for like 11 years, and then one year I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it this year because the lights broke. And they're like, no worries. Fucking Bill and Larry, my two neighbors down the street, they gave me like 3 free boxes of candy cane lights. I was like, no. So one year, towards the end of my living there, my tenure in that lovely neighborhood, I was, just a single bachelor, living the bachelor frog life, just being a work from home guy, dealing with COVID and all that shit. And I didn't, I never took down my Christmas decorations. I left the lights up all year round. So for Halloween one year, I turned on all the Christmas lights and came out dressed like fucking Santa Claus. And my roommate was dressed like Mrs. Claus. So the kids answer trick or treat. I come out, ho, 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 Merry Christmas, ho, ho. And I gave all the kids handfuls of fucking those shitty peppermint candies that you get at restaurants. Like heaping double handfuls of peppermint candies. There you go, right in your bag of Reese's and stuff. And I remember one little kid, dude, he looked up at me like this. He gave me this face and he just looked in his bag and he's just like, you fucking for real? Like he gave this look like,
Bruh.
Are you fucking for real right now?
You lived in a cult neighborhood.
Yeah.
Cult.
Yeah. It was my little way to rebel, but it was just so funny because that was one of the funniest times handing out Christmas, Halloween candy.
And then I gutted him with a chainsaw.
And then the best part is, I hand out the shittiest fucking old lady candy on Halloween, and then November 1st, I go to the H-E-B and I get all the fucking candy for sale.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
We've
like
all done
half
that
off.
trip.
You know,
Oh,
if it's
yeah.
got a bat or a pumpkin off, they're fucking. If it's got a bat or a pumpkin on it, they're giving it away. They're fucking like half off at least. You know.
Yeah, that's you're the guy that would have been wondering why the hell toilet paper was all up in his trees.
I don't care.
If I was
I don't
around.
care.
Like,
And then you know what I would do?
You
I
hand
would
out
leave.
pencils or
I would leave the
apples
toilet
or
paper
fucking
up
circus
there.
peanuts or
I would
something like
leave-
that. Oh, here we go.
Here's how I do it. Passive aggressively, I would leave the toilet paper in the fucking tree until one of my neighbors did something about it. And then the other neighbors would be like, don't fucking toilet paper his house. He will leave it like that. Don't do that. He's driving all of our property values down.
Not my problem.
Have any of you ever done Rocky Horror?
Yeah.
No, never in the theater.
So in a theater in Rocky Horror.
Barbara in the chat used to do Rocky Horror.
Yeah, so people in Rocky Horror throw toilet paper, and I work at a theater where we do Rocky Horror, and one of our custodians would clean up and take home the toilet paper. It was the most disgusting things I've ever heard.
Wow.
I was like, no, don't use that. No. He's like, it's free.
And then he was laughing at all of you when COVID hit.
Wow.
He'd roll it up, and he's like, it's still good. Like, I'm never going to your house.
Because when you go, you always buy like the shittiest, like 40 grit toilet paper to throw anyway.
This shit is paper gold.
Angel Soft, which is neither angelic nor soft.
Are you the Grinch in this picture?
Oh, I'm Peter
or
Pan.
Just the Jolly Green Giant.
I'm Peter Pan, and this was the year that Robin Williams died. I threw this costume together real quick. I was high as fuck on acid.
You look like Gumby.
That explains the glasses.
Well, this isn't during this night, but
it.
I went to Euphoria Fest wearing this costume, and I took so much acid. And the thing is, I was wearing green lederhosen, and my legs are hairy, right? So like I was tripping so hard looking at like the hair under my fucking on my legs. They look like weird like worms or something or caterpillars. I was like, I'm not liking this.
Is that why you shit yourself in this costume?
Yeah. These are like shorts over the pants.
Okay, what are the costumes beside you? Like, what are they supposed to be?
Another, I don't know, goth girl, some kind of.
My
friend Laura, my friend Laura would just do whatever, dude. One time she went as like a weird cannibal butcher. Here's my cool.
I like this one.
My NASA flight suit, my monkey mask. I wear my flight suit all the time now to raves and parties and festivals. Rules. Here's me and Thunderqueef one year. My cousin doing this is like post 9/11, I don't know, undercover stuff. I don't know.
You pulled a Russell Brand.
I've done Superman a few times. Here's my Superman onesie. I did rent a legit Superman outfit one time. I'm drunk as fuck in this picture, obviously. Let's see. I did
that's
Jamaican. Yeah, Superman. I did Trustafarian. Here's probably the best costume I ever did, though. And this was like so great because it's like so like minimum effort, maximum effect.
Jesus.
But dude, it's just like a DEA jacket I got made because I was like doing custom prints, and I had my friend whip up this jacket for me. And it's like one of those things where like, dude, plus I drive like a big black Yukon and like I have this like cop mannerisms, especially when I'm like shaving. You just wear like a shirt and some pants, no big deal. Then you throw the jacket on and now everyone's like most terrifying costume in the whole show. It's so good.
Yeah, was anyone happy to see you show up? But
dude, I was at a music festival. What was it? My friend, my bass player Miles throwing Head for the Hills Fest, and the bass player from the band. Jesus, what band was it? It's a big band, not Goose. Spafford.
Eddie Goodman.
The bass player from Spafford was telling me like, "Yo, man, just take that off, bro. Just take that off, dude. It's not cool. It's not funny."
You're harshing the mellow, man.
I was like, the fact that you're telling me this backstage in the artist area, like one-on-one, is hilarious. It's making it even more funny, dude. People were saying like I would walk into their camp areas, by the rave stage or whatever, where everyone's like fucking rolling their tits off, and I would shine my fucking flashlight like over my head and just like, what's going on over here? Just like walk out of here with my jacket.
I respect that, man. That's edgy. Twitter is not edgy, okay?
Yeah.
No, it's cringe.
Yeah, I like to be funny. I like to test people's. That's why I like Friedkin and Verhoeven. I like people that like to test the sensibilities. Test the waters, see what the hell's acceptable.
When my wife and I were dating, I decided to go as a mad scientist, and so I had my lab coat because at the time I was actually taking a human body course where we dissected cadavers. So I already had the lab coat. And so I had pretty long jet black hair. So I just gelled it so it all stood straight the hell up. Right. And so I'm already 6'5". So with the hair, I'm like, near 7 foot. And
you look like the Cramps album cover, probably.
Yeah. So my upstairs neighbors had talked to a buddy of mine who happened to be at the Halloween party I was having in my apartment, who was complaining about the noise that my then girlfriend and I had when having sex. So I went upstairs to confront them and knock on the door, and they open it, and here is a 6'5" large man wearing the coat and the hair all up, and like, you got a problem with this or that, whatever? No, man, we're all good. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, no one wants to fuck with a giant mad scientist.
No.
Hi, Phil, Barbara says.
Hi, Phil.
Yeah, Phil.
Oh, Phil. Yeah, Phil Philly. He was
Phil.
Dude, he's been a huge. He was subscriber 248 or 243.
Yeah, he just subbed to B-roll. Cheers,
he was saying
Phil.
he loves both of these channels. Yeah, he was like, hell yeah. And then I'm at 248 now. I'm 2 subscribers away from 250, which means I'll get to do a little song.
Gotta do karaoke.
Do a little karaoke song.
Do you have like a song planned, or is it's a surprise?
Here's the thing: if whoever subscribes number 250, and I can tell who they are, and there's some way I can message, you could request it. I'll sing any song. But if not, I'll sing something you won't. I can sing something. I can sing genres. You like Frank Sinatra? Do you want to hear some heavy metal? You want to hear?
I want you to do Genie in a Bottle with all the dance moves from the video.
Oh, okay, I don't know if I could do any. No video. I don't think I'm going to be doing video. If I'm going to sing well, I think I'm going to go on my avatar. I
want you to do something off of Pat Boone's metal album.
Okay. Well, if there's a karaoke version of it on YouTube, I'll do it.
There must be.
Can you do a duet with yourself from Aladdin?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Well, I used to do duets.
Who are both characters?
Yeah, so I would do Fecal Pickle, my lounge piano act duo. It's me and my piano player at music festivals at 4 a.m. doing Michael Bublé songs and Rufus Wainwright songs and shit like that for all these kids on fucking drugs. And yeah, I would do Rufus Wainwright and Natalie Imbruglia, Quando. For the Natalie Imbruglia part, I would do a fucking nitrous hit. So I'd get the demon voice, tell me when will you be mine? Yeah.
Have you thought about Baby Shark and or WAP?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Do something out of box.
There's a Richard Cheese version of Wet Ass Pussy that's pretty badass.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Richard Cheese is Richard Cheese is a huge.
I can't believe Richard Cheese is still making stuff, man. He's been making stuff for a long time.
You guys, riff tracks talking about Mr. Science Theater. Have you guys heard the Ocean's 11 riff tracks with Mike Nelson and Richard Cheese? It is hilarious.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm
one of the funniest jokes in the entire one. I still think about it every once in a while. It's and it's hard to explain, riff jokes, but it's the part where Matt Damon is talking to George Clooney about how they're following Julia Roberts and her husband, the casino guy, Anthony, what's his name? No, whatever, doesn't matter. The casino guy
from Expendables 4.
Yeah, there you go. They're all running around. He's giving him the day-to-day, what they do, where they're usually going. And one of the jokes is, and I don't know why I always think about it, but it's just so funny because it's George Clooney's basically is there anything else I should know? And Mike Nelson's joke is yeah, he eats nothing but blooming onions, 5 a day. I don't know where he's getting them. There's no Outback Steakhouse anywhere in the fucking restaurant.
He's
what's
making
going
his
on?
own.
Where are they coming from?
That's all he eats is blooming onions. It's so weird. I mean, it's one of those jokes that's so nonsensical and strange, but yet every time I think of a blooming onion, I think of Ocean's 11 with Richard Cheese. But yeah, there's a lot of great jokes in there. Can't remember.
It just depends, though. You should really move me to the bottom because I'm not actually showing a face, but Blue is busy being blocked by.
How do I do that? I know how to do that. I know how to do that.
Click and drag him.
This ain't professional.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Holy shit! Look at you. Guys, I didn't realize you could do that.
I haven't thought of Ocean's 11 in a while. I got to rewatch that. That was a good.
I'm trying to forget it.
I like the first.
I like the original.
Soderbergh.
Oh, I love the original
and the remake are both good. I think, but like, Ocean's 12, 13, Ocean's 8, or no.
I mean, Robin and the Seven Hoods is the best Rat Pack movie, though. That is a brilliant retelling of Robin Hood with Sammy Davis Jr. and company. I adore that movie to this day. Bang Bang is one of the best musical numbers. Mr. Booze, I mean, they immortalized that, etc.
Andy Garcia,
Cosby. That's the name. Yeah,
that was bothering me. It was. I was about to look it up.
Like the Rick and Morty episode, the heist episode.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, exactly. Making fun of that episode, making fun of Ocean's 11. Yeah, I get it. Like they're so ahead of the curve in the Ocean's 11 remake. It's just a little bit too much when they're pretending to be the SWAT guys exiting with the money. It's a little, everything goes a little too smoothly. It's one of those things where we as the audience are being like wowed instead of like entertained.
It's all in good fun, though. I mean, it's a throwback.
I also just love Steven Soderbergh and his ability to just crank out fucking solid films on. He's like he's the new Clint Eastwood, we can make movies under budget, on time, with minimum effects, and just still have a good original, fresh story. I love Soderbergh. And he's always willing to try new things.
Brad Pitt kills it in that movie. Even if you don't like Brad Pitt, man, he is on point in that movie.
That's right, Topher. Yeah, I love how Topher Grace and who else is playing themselves in that scene?
I can't remember.
Other gambling
female actress is familiar to me, but she's long gone. I can't remember who it was.
We watched. Megan loves that movie, Molly's Game, with the in-house casinos.
Yeah, that one's really good, actually.
She did that stuff for a while. Being like one of those game girls. And she might come in. I don't know. She should be in bed, but I sent her the link. But one of the things that she was talking about was like that movie. If you've seen Molly's Girl, like she's hanging out with actual high profile celebrity poker players, and the main one, who I can't remember who plays him in the movie, but he's like remains kind of nameless, in the movie. But he's actually supposed to be Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire was one of those legit like poker hounds. Brat Pack kids,
Yeah.
You didn't realize like Tobey Maguire from Pleasantville was like hardcore pussy hound in the late 90s, early 2000s.
That must have been Brat Pack 2 or something.
From Steven Soderbergh at all?
Sorry,
what's that?
Did anyone see Unsane from 2020? What did you think of that movie?
First of all, that was one of the first movies marketed as like shot entirely on an iPhone, and they used that to its advantage, especially for like how much farther, like now you could say a movie shot on an iPhone. It's like, almost every fucking high definition porno and a lot of nature films, they're all shot on iPhones now. But back then it was like pretty novel idea. And like they took advantage of like the, what's it called? Like that close camera angle, like no zoom. What do you call that? But yeah, I loved Unsane. Unsane's a great like paranoia mental institution movie. Getting thrown in the loony bin against your will. Love it.
Yeah, Enzo, you should do a whole karaoke stream.
Really? Did we get there? No.
You could do Sammy Davis Jr. songs from Ocean's
I'm gonna
11.
I'll do a karaoke stream if we get to 500. I'll do a few songs, and if we get to 1,000, I'm gonna do like a set. But if I get to 250, I'll do a song. I'll do a nice song. I could do Billy Joel, River of Dreams. I love that song. I was also thinking maybe something simple for my first song, just do something like Somewhere Beyond the Sea. Some kind of lounge stuff. Yeah. I don't know. But if someone's a 250 subscriber, I mean, there's nobody really, there's like a kind of handful of people watching. I'm sure everyone watching is already subscribed. So no pressure.
We'll just make you sing The Lion Sleeps Tonight, but you have to do all the parts.
I can do that one, but I'll try to save the falsettos for later. Like if we get to 1,000,
as you stay away from Queen, that's a crime when people do it at karaoke. Don't do
Bob
it.
Seger.
Any other
No Bob Seger, no Queen.
Cabinet,
no Stairway.
Cake, said,
how about Hell is for Children by Pat Benatar?
Yes.
With Khrushchev and Kennedy, and anytime an invitation you can't decline. I can do some Queen, dude. I'll sing the shit out of some Queen. But anyway,
sadly, my falsetto left a while ago. I used to be able to
you
sing.
You could do that hardcore baritone, I'm sure.
I
used to be able to do all 4 parts of barbershop.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing is as you get older, it's like definitely was a better singer when I was like earlier 20s, and I didn't sing as much because I'm a drummer by trade, you know.
Yeah.
I sing occasionally, but like lately with the fecal pickle and the karaoke, like I like just like not drumming and just singing. And like God, since I've moved here to small town Texas, past 3 years, I was doing karaoke like twice a week, every week. I've sung over 1,000 different songs. And honestly, I would still keep doing it, but like I'm gravitating to the YouTube channel. That's becoming my new hobby. And also, a lot of the karaoke places are just kind of drying up. Bidenflation's hitting hard out here. Oh my God, we're graced with my lovely significant other.
There's plenty of karaoke
Megan,
right here.
how you doing, Meg? Are we talking to Shadow Megan? How's Megan?
It's an apparition.
Oh,
She butt dialed your stream.
It's the AI.
she might be. She'll probably pop in. She's not the most technically savvy.
Oh, we're getting the background noises.
Yeah, who's drinking here? Is that clanking and clinking? Oh yeah, it's fine. What are you drinking? I should ask.
Vodka. Lots.
What do you got?
Hello.
Them white Russians. Megan, how are you doing?
And then
Well, you just kicked her off, so.
Megan, can you hear us?
Hello.
It's her first time, don't worry.
What's up, Megan?
Oh, I bet she says that's
hello.
all the Oh, the old in and out. Yep, that's what we enjoy.
She might have taken her night meds. Megan,
Megan,
you all right?
Problems.
Megan, you don't need to pop in if you don't want to, if you're too sleepy.
Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
Megan,
the Jeopardy theme.
Megan's singing. Megan, can you not hear us? I don't think she can hear us. That's probably what's going on.
Blink twice if you're being held hostage.
Can you hear us, Megan?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't think she can. Anyway, guys, what else is going on with funny Halloween stories?
When I was a kid, I can't remember what we were traveling or something like that, and I got back like day of Halloween, and so didn't have a costume that I'd put together or anything like that. So I went out as tinfoil man. I just took aluminum foil and
oh, you were that kid.
Yeah. I mean, you got to get that candy, man.
There's nothing wrong with that. When I was like in high school, still living at my parents', we didn't get a lot of trick or treaters just because we were on a very busy street. But these teenagers, like the junior high and high school kids, would show up with no costumes, asking for candy, and I'm like, "Fuck off!
Yeah,
get out of here, man! Make an effort, do something, tell a joke, get fucked." You get 1 Three Musketeers mini bar, and you're out of here. Fuck off.
My town was so small, we got more Jehovah's Witnesses than trick-or-treaters. So, not much happened. They're like, have you heard about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? We're like, we have Mars bars.
I got a great story about the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Really?
So when I was in high school, we suddenly started getting a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses coming to visit. Well, I would invite them in and then debate them. And would like look at their references and their little pamphlets or whatever and be like, wait a minute, I have that. Let me get that out.
You were the guy for that, Jay.
Show up, and start going. And then when they would start to get up and leave, I was like, no, here's another can of food. Let's stay. Let's go. I'm good. So it got to the point that I saw him walking down the street, and I was thinking, all right, I'm ready. And they walked to my driveway, and then they would take their heels and hit them up against their thighs, right? And then walk on. And I was like, the fuck is that? And it then hit me. They were knocking off the dust of the unrighteous man off of their shoes. They would never come to visit again.
Holy shit.
And so,
That's disappointing.
I was like, come on, man, my entertainment. There ain't nothing on TV on this Saturday. Get in here.
Fantastic. Well done.
We used to have this big, like a gigantic neighborhood that was like a huge block of houses with like 3 little cul-de-sacs on one side and a huge like loop around. So like I guess the whole neighborhood plus like the opposite side like this is easily like 100 houses, maybe the whole loop around. And what we did is my dad, he had like a fucking cardboard box full of crazy like Halloween masks, like that crazy bat and like some zombies and random werewolves and shit. And like, yeah, we would fucking put on some clothes, put on a little mask, do the whole block as fast as possible, get a whole bag of candy. Then we'd go home, change our clothes, put on another mask, do the whole block again. We would do like 5 or 6 rounds, dude. I'm talking like nuts.
Well, when I was
and nobody suspected.
When I was like a little kid, we would have pillowcases full of candy, man. It was just insane. It's not the same now, but
you'd have to go get another bag, to get your second bag worth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone always avoided the dentist's house.
As someone with candy, as someone who has the house now, like definitely don't see any more trick-or-treaters nowadays. I don't know about y'all, but like even on my crazy candy neighborhood, we would get lots of people checking out all our decorations, but still like not a lot of, even before COVID, like not a lot of a lot of extra candy.
Yeah, it's the helicopter parents and the oh my God, I saw that the crazies are out or whatever. Look, there's always been a baseline number of crazies, and your chances of encountering them are ludicrously small. But if all you do, especially if you're a neurotic mom who doesn't have any access to extended family or other sane people around you, right, then it suddenly becomes, I have to manage every minute, right? And I was walking to school on my own in first grade. Try that now, and CPS shows up, right? And also my family's, their rule was, how do you keep track of me? Be home when the street lights come on.
Bingo. And you're not allowed in the house until then.
Yeah, and get the hell out.
Drinking out of the garden hose and fucking foraging. We were feral back then.
Yeah, and you learned a whole lot of self-sufficiency doing that.
Right. Well, now there's also a lot of organized trick-or-treating, like where you go to a parking lot or
the mall
or you walk from table
to table. The trunk or treating. That's what they do now. Trick or trunking or whatever the fuck they call it, where they just have a bunch of cars in like a church parking lot and the trunks are wide open and the kids just get all the candy there. And it's like, no,
that ain't it.
No,
man.
That is not it at all. Megan, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Wow. How you doing,
Megan?
Hey guys, I'm just folding laundry and figured I'd hang out with you guys for a second.
Oh, cool. I thought that there was like some horrific nonsense going on with your microphone or whatever, but I guess you're fine.
No,
I know what I'm hearing now. I'm hearing your metal fucking coat hangers. Okay.
Oh,
sounds like you're sharpening knives, and I'm like,
no more wire hangers.
Yeah, Bobby Dearest. Hell yeah, you guys. That was great. I like how we all went there.
I still buy Old Dutch to this day.
I got those old fashioned like 70s plastic ones that you get. Love them because I've got so many of them.
They break so fast.
They break, but I've got so many others in the closet. It's like, oh well, just pull out another stack.
I think I still have some of the old school wooden ones.
I went out and bought wooden ones specifically for my nice things.
Yeah. Like all my suit jackets and all that stuff. They're on wood.
Barbara Lawrence. I once went trick-or-treating in a full tilt Scarlett O'Hara costume. Hoop skirt, baby. Hell yeah.
Knowing
Barbara I did that last year.
Us Generation Xers are fucking indestructible. Hi, Megan, says Barbara, and not the only female anymore. Yay, yes. So a lot of times I've usually prided the Dorkside. Dorkside usually is not a sausage fest. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times it's not, especially back in the old days.
Like, don't presume my gender.
Yeah.
No one's
say back in the old Facebook days during COVID, especially, dude, I'd have like just hot babe friends of mine just talk about like shit they were watching on Netflix. Just anyone come in, chat for 25 minutes of what you thought of Tiger King or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and after the 50th time of Tiger King, get the fuck off my stream. Get that.
I've never watched Tiger King.
We did one Tiger King stream.
Just keep not watching it. That's the best.
Yeah, that was the goal.
Yeah, Megan, what were some of your good favorite Halloween memories, either recent or childhood?
I guess my favorite was one year whenever my mom blew my mind showing me Jiffy Pop for the first time.
Oh my God!
You mean like stove pop?
No,
popcorn?
Jiffy Pop.
Jiffy Pop in aluminum foil.
Yeah, it came in its own metal aluminum pan, and then had aluminum foil over the top of it.
Guaranteed to burn every time.
Yeah. Yep. I never got cool stuff like Jiffy Pop. We just had to do our own with the air popper.
Yeah.
Or do it in the pan.
When I was living in Portland, I lived in this neighborhood and everybody said, oh, it gets crazy. And so I was prepared. I made cookies. I bought 10 pounds of candy. I had like toys for kids that couldn't have sugar.
Let me give you guys some backstory here why this is funny. Because Megan loves to overdo it. Like, she's the kind of lady where she's going to go to your party. It's like, instead of just bringing like a watermelon or like a fruit tray, she's going to hand make like pot stickers painstakingly. She's going to make a fucking bunch of cookies for trick-or-treaters. That's crazy.
Where do you live, Megan? Because
this is Oregon.
I would say you can show up at my day of gluttony.
My friends struggle to figure out where the grocery store is to bring chips or chocolate milk to my house.
Yeah,
but
it's usually
I'm sure
whatever
the
they grab at the
punchline of
convenience
the story was that not a lot of kids showed up and got all the cookies. Is that correct, Megan?
Almost none. And me and Ricky sat on the patio drinking like 2 bottles of red wine, just like laughing about how much work we put into
how many cookies you made and shit. It sucks. Yeah, we were kind of talking about how trick-or-treating's dying out and it's lame now. And that's the thing is like, God forbid, like if I had a kid right now, I would fucking make that kid like go to every house demanding candy. So
dude,
like,
if I had a kid and it mattered, I would put all the decorations in the front, like the offensive ones. Like, I don't give a fuck. Look at my 12-foot skeleton. Get mad.
Yeah, my mom's best friend had like 12 legit mannequins, and she would have legs hanging out of baby carriages and just all kinds of crap. Like,
that's what's so funny. It's like
I do animatronics. So
of course you do, Mr.
When my
Smarty
kids
guy.
My town had a haunted house. Our drama teacher from the high school would put on this crazy haunted house where he'd get all the drama students to come out and literally terrorize neighborhood kids. They'd be screaming in there. It was a delight. And he had this whole like 20 acres of it.
Awesome.
It was fantastic.
When I was in junior high, our local college decided they were going to have a haunted house, and so we were going through it, and it was me and a couple of girls, and this guy jumped out at me, and I kicked him square in the balls.
I punched a clown in a corn maze once.
My youngest daughter punched a guy in one of the haunted forests around here. Yeah, because he did the jump out and got close, and she just smacked him right in the.
When they jump out at you, you have to react at your natural.
I was never scared of haunted house scares. I'm never scared of jump scares because I know it can't hurt me. And ever since I was a little kid, I was one of those little assholes that would get in Jason's face and be like, "Oh, you can't touch me. Fuck you." Everyone else around me, and I would just be like, yeah. But one of the only times I did get scared in a haunted house was these motherfuckers. They make you, in order to get through this one part, you have to crawl through this like. It's like imagine 2 like air mattresses filled with like jelly, and they're pressed up against each other, and you have to crawl through it. Yeah. So it's like totally claustrophobic. Like these 2 mattresses are touching each other, and you have to like squeeze yourself through it. It was fucking weird. I did not like that at all. I was like, get out of here.
Yeah, constraining my movement is a great way to get me to kick into fight or flight, and fight's my normal response.
I think it's hilarious how desperate people get when they run low on candy. My kid got saltines and unfrozen Otter Pops one year. Jesus.
I'm sorry, Barbara. I didn't mean to, I didn't realize it was your kid.
Anyway. What were you saying, Jay?
Maybe your kid has a sense of humor.
Oh, Jay, why do you have unfrozen Otter Pops is my question.
I mean, who doesn't?
Now, are these saltines like just little packets they stole from restaurants or something? Is that what they're giving out?
Yeah. The box of
saltines. Are they just individual loose saltines?
Yeah, it's just exactly. You get the 4 square. I'm feeling generous. You get the 4 square. I don't break it into the 4s.
Now. That's
you get them when you buy the gumbo. You know, they come on the side.
I think I have a Werther's in the bottom of my purse. Hold on.
My favorite old person
candy from the bank. Here it goes. Been in my purse for 8 years.
Yeah,
when you run out of candy, you just turn off the porch light and pretend you're sleeping.
Oh,
why don't you just do that?
That didn't stop us.
Well, I do that now. I fucking hate
the Invisible Ghost. Bela Lugosi, the Invisible Ghost, just premiered on Schlocktober with me and Uninspired. Hell yeah!
Great movie.
Past midnight.
Great
That's
movie.
A weird
Painful.
One.
Painful, but great.
It was great for the time. It was like me on the Exorcist stream and the Shining stream on both times. I'm just trying to talk to these 20-year-olds like, this movie was scary at the time, I swear. Old man yells at cloud.
Like, there's a lot of movies that were scary at the time that just don't hit our generation. Like, the first Halloween just doesn't hit me. It's not scary.
Yeah. I didn't really think...
I'm sure at the time it was terrifying, but now I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I think the more interesting thing is, like, I mean, so that was one of the things where everybody was bitching about the Iraq part of the original Exorcist. So stop looking for jump scares, you whiny bitches. There's a real story there, and it really is about the modernity and the conflict with ancient beliefs, right? So the reason it starts in Iraq is that is the source of the evil, and then it spends like 2/3 of the movie going to doctors, going to psychiatrists, trying to do all of the things that modernity offers, and none of it is effective. And she has to revert to going back to old beliefs and the things that are more ancient to solve this problem.
Yeah. And like I was trying to say,
the same thing with Halloween. With Halloween is about like an unstoppable and non-negotiable force of nature. It's not about, crazy man does thing. Yeah, kind of, but not really.
Yeah, Jay and I had a little bit of a conversation about whether Michael Myers is supernatural or not, and my feeling is that yes, he is.
Yeah, I think he's more preternatural. But it's still it's a thing. Again, there's no reason. All of the things. Notice that the kids. So they were bitching. You guys were bitching in the stream about the kid calling him the boogeyman, right? The kid is the most accurate of all of them to identify what it is, right? Everybody else is coming at it with, oh, it's a normal guy. You just need a reason. Oh, he's crazy. He just needs his meds.
And Jay was gone again.
We lost it.
Yeah.
Did you pay your dial-up bill, Jay?
So definitely back in the day, it was more about themes.
Well, I always like Jason. Jason 6 the best because that was the one where he becomes like supernatural, like officially.
But he takes Manhattan in part 8.
Yeah, that's true.
Which one does it go to space in?
That's Jason X.
10.
10.
Yeah. So you're back, Jay. All right, continue.
Sorry, I missed the one where he went to space, but folding socks.
I'm not sorry that I missed any of it.
Which one does he want to go to hell?
That's
9.
Freddy.
Jason 9 is Freddy goes to hell, or Jason goes to hell.
Space. You think
then Jason, I guess, is Jason 11? Freddy versus Jason? Technically,
they're all just a blur.
My favorite part in Freddy versus Jason is when he shows up to the corn crop party, the fucking party in the cornfield. Now it's like a bunch of high schoolers and they're all like chugging fucking Everclear,
which is a real thing. I'm from Ohio. That's a real thing.
I have tried to do a shot of Everclear twice, and both times my throat like sealed up and I couldn't breathe. I was like,
well, I meant the cornfield parties, but yeah, that too.
Oh no,
I mean, Everclear shots are a thing too.
We'd party in the desert where I grew up in El Paso, but like same shit. But like, yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah, if you're not tipping cows, you're not partying. That's
they would drive a flatbed truck out into a cornfield and a band.
You would need to have a 4-wheel drive or know someone that had a 4-wheel drive to get to some of these keggers, these senior keggers, out in the New Mexico desert. And that's the other thing. We lived in El Paso, but we go party like down the street in New Mexico because if we ever got busted by New Mexican authorities, they would see that we're all Texas residents and they wouldn't want to fuck with the paperwork and the fact that we were all minors and shit. So they would usually just let us all go.
Nice.
But usually it was safest to just go to Mexico and just drink semi-legally in Juarez. But yeah, point is
you
like
hung out in Juarez. Nice.
Oh, dude, I used to go to Juarez all the time. Like $10 drink and drown. Like you have no idea what being a 16-year-old having access to that kind of alcohol is like. Like when I was 18, I moved to Austin.
Don't assume my drinking gender.
Yeah. Dude, it's like $10 drinking drown. You pay $10 to go into a bar and they like let you in and it's just unlimited beer and booze and whatever the fuck you want because the bar is basically a money laundering front for the cartel. And it's right on the strip. You like park your car in downtown El Paso. It's not like Tijuana where you have to drive an hour or something to get there. You fucking park your car downtown. You walk across a bridge. It's a 5-minute walk. It's a 5-minute walk. And then bam, you're in fucking Mexico. And it's like liquor store, bar, burgers, the best fucking burgers you've ever heard of. Just like more bars, just like I said, it's like some of these college bars, they had like cheap drinks, but these high school bars that were real fucking shady. Yeah, they had the drink and drown stuff. Holy crap. And then you'd walk in and you'd give the bartender like another $10 So $20 total, like your lunch money basically for like a week, half a week. And all of a sudden now that you've tipped the bartender, you're the only motherfucker out of all these hundreds of high schoolers that has tipped the bartender anything. So now you can cut in line, and instead of one beer, he gives you a bucket of beer at a time. You want a flaming Dr. Pepper? Sure. I, to this day, have never had a better flaming Dr. Pepper than at Reno's in Juarez, Mexico since I was 16, 17. People try flaming Dr. Peppers. I don't even think people don't even know what they are. I didn't even know what they were when I was drinking them.
Damn.
They were strong and on fire.
This is you were all popular in high school.
No, that was what's cool about Mexico is because, I mean, I was a popular kid, don't get me wrong. But the thing is, like I said, my clique was like, stoner, high school marching band, drum line. That was like, I was hanging out with the Birkenstock fish heads and all the band geeks. But because of Juarez, like there were cliques like cheerleaders and jocks and band geeks and drama kids and emo kids, but we would all go to Mexico. We would all be partying at these bars together. Like the cliques, it didn't matter. Cause like, like the fucking goth girl who had lockers next to me is like dancing on a speaker with her underwear showing, next thing you know, she's like, making out with you and stuff. It's like, dude, it was crazy. It was wild. It was fun. We'd all go back to high school the next Monday, hey, football
Assume
guy.
your normal roles.
Remember when like football guy and goth kid and band geek were all fucking doing shots together? Like it was just a wild time, dude. I highly recommend it. But unfortunately, after I left, a year or two after I left, my little brother, for instance, he's 3 years younger than me. He didn't really get to enjoy Juarez like I did because the drug war kind of kicked off.
Yeah, the beheadings began, and that wasn't nearly as much fun.
They literally bulldozed those bars that I'm talking about, literally bulldozed them just to discourage people from coming down there. It was that bad.
Man, you guys had wild high school careers. I was studying Fellini and Kurosawa, and I thought Nolan was the greatest filmmaker ever. And I was like super film nerd trying to dissect every frame of every movie ever.
I was still a huge movie nerd.
Yeah, I did both.
Oh, I did.
Us theater kids and art school or art room kids, but we partied. I mean, for sure, we partied.
My father, God bless him. My mother's still love her. I'm respectful about my pot smoking nowadays, but when I was living with her in high school, we would go up in my room, me and all my fucking grown 18-year-old high school fucking dude friends, just pile in my tiny bedroom, sit on my bed, watch cool ass weird movies, and rip my fucking giant bong. Hotbox the shit out of my room. And my mom would just be like, hey, you guys want anything to eat? You guys good? Yes, Miss Snuckle. Thanks.
Yeah, my mom wasn't making us nuggies, but she was always happy that she knew where I was, and she was happy to have a couple of my nerd friends over and let us drink a little beer and smoke a little pot and whatever, because she didn't have to worry about me.
Dude, yeah, so many people would come in my house and we'd watch trippy ass fucking movies. I had IFC back when it was cool, and you'd watch all these random fucking weird movies you'd never heard of, and then going to Hollywood Video, Blockbuster Video, just constantly just having shit to watch. And also buy.com, that was a new thing, like ordering DVDs in bulk, like from the internet. Like I Married a Strange Person and SLC Punk. These are like some of the first DVDs I ever bought. Like the Iron Giant. That was also a good one, obviously. But
you child.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was like,
yeah. I mean, but it was also like, because like right around the time I was like in middle school, early high school, that's when DVD was like kind of a new thing. I remember my neighbor down the street, he had a shitload of movies like on VHS, and he was the first motherfucker to show me a DVD, and I think it was Jumanji. And it was just like, wow, cool. It's like a laser disc, but size of a CD.
So when I was in high school, me and a couple of my friends, we worked at the Main Street Theater, which is just like the old town theater or whatever, and it was run into the ground, and it was a total dump. But it also had the next storefront over attached to it, and that was the VHS rental store. So knowing everyone that works in and out of the theater and the rental store, whatever, like if I found a movie that I really liked, I just got to take the tape. Like,
nice.
It was pretty good.
What was the other one that was in the mall? Was it Suncoast Video? Suncoast, because everyone would go to like the video rental places, like Hollywood Video, Blockbuster Video, local video places, but I would go to Suncoast. That's where you could buy all the cool movies and the cool merch, like the Todd McFarlane figures and all that crazy shit, all the memorabilia.
Like the prototypical GameStop sort of thing.
Yeah, for movies, basically. It was GameStop for movies, basically.
Yeah. Like before Best Buy and all that.
GameStop doesn't really sell games anymore. It's just pop figures. That's what I've determined.
Memorabilia and stuff.
Hey, there's a Baby Yoda teapot in case you need it.
Yeah, even as like a comic book guy, like Megan was talking about comic books because we went to this crazy huge antique store out here where I'm at. And like the thing is, my brother, he's more into actually buying the actual comic books. Whereas like for me, I was all about buying the artwork, the busts, the cool figures, the drawing references, the books, all that stuff. The art books were always my favorite. That shit rocks, man. Love it. What's it called when the omnibuses? Those are always essential. Like, cause that's the thing is like, I don't really buy floppies. Only like collectors buy floppies. Me, it's like if I'm going to buy a graphic novel or a comic book, I'm going to buy like a collection or an omnibus or something like that. And a hard, paper, perfect bound. You know,
I was always a reader, not a collector. So like I traded a bunch of my original issues of The Crow for the graphic novel, the compilation, because I wanted all of them. And, probably was like a $100 loss or whatever, but I just wanted the complete story.
But that's what's so weird about any of those speculative markets. Like people talk about how like these VHS and DVDs are valuable. It's like, no, they're not.
That's fair.
It depends to who. Like if you find the right buyer who's desperate enough, like if someone said they have a copy of Prom Night 3 on VHS, I'd probably pay a bunch, but I'm probably the only one.
I mean, I got a copy of Rockula, and I was talking about my Rockula riff coming out on the 18th. Some random dude saw my clip, invited me to a Facebook page called Fans of Rockula. And it's all these dudes who are like Rockula fans. And I posted in there a picture of my VHS copy, which I put back away, but I was like, I had a copy of it, and I was like, I can't believe I thought I was the only one. And it's a lot of comments like, oh, yeah, you're not alone. But many people were like, dude, you actually have this movie? Like, you actually have a copy of this movie with the case?
Imagine, like, yes, three or four weirdos jerking off to your JPEG of your VHS.
But if someone was like, I want to give you $300 for that copy right now, I'd be like, no, I love this movie. You know what I mean? Like, no. And it's like one of those things where it's like, who are you? I also don't want to really indulge you. Like if Blue Collar was like, I want to buy that book for $300, $400, I would give it to him as a gift. I'd be like, hey, if it means that much to you, I've had my fun with it. And, I've riffed it. It's on the internet now. It'll be on the internet in a week or two. Yeah. I could part with my VHS copy of Rockula now that I have finally watched it after owning it for 10, 15 years. And trying to watch it.
Did you digitize it?
Well, I did.
Scan it?
No, someone else put it on YouTube, and we watched that copy. You know what I mean?
I had a friend do that for me. I'm a big fan of Sleepaway Camp. If I haven't previously established that, but I went over to a buddy's house and was looking through his VHS, and there was an original Sleepaway Camp, and he's like, "You're gonna love it more than me. Just take it.
Nice.
Just take it."
It's
I remember that so clearly.
Yeah, everyone remembers that ending and where you first were when you saw that ending.
It's
and
such
like
a terrible movie. It's so bad it makes me
right?
laugh so
but then
hard.
the ending kicks you right in the cunt. Like seriously, like if you had just watched the ending and only the ending, like that'll freak you out.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey man, there's a
song. You're just what we're looking for. It's such a terrible song. It makes me so happy inside to watch that stupid movie.
Well, what do you think about the Sleepaway Camp sequels?
Oh, I love 2 and 3. Don't
I
do
actually
drugs,
like
stay
those.
in school. Now, Sleepaway Camp 4 technically only has 5 minutes of footage, and Return to Sleepaway Camp can suck a dick. I don't like that movie.
I've never seen the sequels, but I have to imagine that's hard to follow up.
I own like 3 or 4 copies of the Sleepaway Camp Blu-rays with the slipcovers just in case mine get damaged. You know how people are with slipcovers. I need to have them all. I've got one copy out, a couple in storage. I've got the VHS of the first one. Like I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. I've got the DVD with the 3-pack.
Have you ever met any of the actors or crew? Have you ever gotten any
autographs? No, but the dream one day is to meet Angela and get her to sign it. And then hopefully get her to be in my movie that's inspired by Sleepaway Camp very heavily.
Oh, okay. You want to divulge on that at all? Or
I wrote a murder. Okay, I wrote a murder at camp film that has elements of Sleepaway Camp, and there's a character named Meg, because of course you have to. My name is M-A-G, Meg. Don't you forget it. What, and I've got some cheesy lines, and they're like, why does Angela get to talk to the boys when we have to play volleyball? And there's some inspired bits by that. But then, I went a little more. But one day, the hope is to get Greg Sestero and Pamela Springsteen in the same movie.
Looking forward to it.
If it's got titties and gore, I'm in it. I'm
oh my goodness! There's a couple sequences I don't know if I could show on screen because the Catholics will get me.
I'm Catholic.
The crucifixion is a little brutal. Let me put it that way.
Is this filmed?
No, but I'm really close. Like I need 25, and I got to 10 so far, so it's happening soon.
So you're like in the storyboarding phase, or the
storyboard is done,
phase?
Film is done. I just need money, and then at that point, if I can get to like my fundraising goal, it'd be like go find one of the Sleepaway Camp actors and be like, please be in my movie. Please come out for one day, and then talk to.
Well, it's one of those things where if you got the actor first, the funding would be a lot easier after the fact.
I'm aware, but you gotta. It's like it's just a thing. My goal is to make a murder at camp film. I figured out how to rip a body in half with like a car, just with like rice paper and pork guts. So do it yourself.
My favorite part of the pork, the chitlins and the cracklins. And the menudo, the tripe. I love menudo.
I'm a big fan of Sleepaway Camp. What can I say? So when someone gave me that VHS, I was like thrilled. I traded a copy of Life Force.
Yeah, I feel that way about a couple of movies in my life. So, man, good luck on your project.
I hope so, too. If anyone wants to donate, talk to me. I need money.
Dude, if I could make a sequel to any movie, it would probably be that fucking Horror Express that me and Blue Collar saw. I was like blown away.
That was trippy.
I would do a reboot of that flick for sure.
Horror Express?
Super Saiyan psychic fucking Yeti. Frozen Yeti monster with like mind melting powers.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Look,
it was
at the
unbelievable.
Cast. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we I think that was what was it? Number 5th? Schlocktober 5th, I think that was the one.
Yeah.
I had to put it in horror vision though because of the stupid Hammer films. Damn it. Anyway, but yeah, that was actually a legit movie that I would like to see remade or a sequel to. I want to see a sequel to The Iron Giant. Where the
I know everyone does. Seems like
1980 something. Hogarth is grown up.
It's hard to say anything bad about that movie, man. That is
Iron Giant.
Impressive. It's emotionally gripping. It's beautiful to look at.
All ages entertainment.
Vin Diesel's best performance to date.
Just like The Exorcist, like you might not be into kids movies, but kids cartoon movies, but The Iron Giant is one of those movies where it's like, no, watch that one. Fucking check it out. It's badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was that breaking movie that Vin Diesel was in? The breakdancing movie in the 80s. It was like the first thing he was in.
Well, there's Breaking and Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo.
No, it's not those. It's like the dollar store version of, which is really saying something.
It's funny because I know
dollar
it.
Store version of Breaking.
Wow.
I was showing on one of these Dorksides Vin Diesel doing a Street Sharks commercial.
That was hilarious.
He's doing like a Street Sharks toy promo video. Yeah. Let's see, breakdancing movie.
I'm Googling it now too.
Oh, he was doing a how to breakdance video. Wow. It wasn't a movie. It's like an educational video. Let's pull this up. Fucking A. Why are we?
This is the way to go. Tell us how to breakdance, Vin Diesel.
Oh my God.
Let's just say he does not know how.
Seems legit.
This is actually just like his Street Sharks video, because like you could tell he's just like there, like shows up on set. All right, here's what you're doing, Vin. Your job is to show us how to breakdance. And as an actor, like
yeah, breaking in the USA. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa. Wow.
Kick out the right and cross the left. Remove the left leg and replace further left.
His real name is Mark Vincent?
I hope he's doing this to a Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch song.
No, it's a little early for that.
Disappointment.
Wow. Oh my God.
Wow, there's the shot right there.
Do it in
Vin
super
Diesel
slow
still
motion.
doesn't have a
I gotta say, probably breakdancing.
Right leg.
breakdancing slowly has
Move
got to
the
be
left
harder than
leg and
breakdancing in normal
replace it
speed, right?
Further left. Put
Yeah,
your
the
right
balance
leg
is a little
under
harder.
and bring your
They
left
couldn't just
arm
film and
over,
do it and then slow
your
down the
left
video?
Well, they're
and
still
your
slowing
right
it
arm
down, but he's
over.
still doing it slow.
Like,
I
why
don't
wouldn't
think he
they
can
just,
actually
like,
do it
film
at
it
full
and
speed,
then
so
slow it
they're
down?
having to do it this way.
Do you think 1984's Fast and Furious would be better than 1999's Fast and Furious?
Yes.
Yes.
First
Who
of
would
all,
even be in
everybody
that?
would have muscle cars. No one would give two shits about a Japanese car.
We wouldn't have Devin Aoki, but
The villain could drive a DeLorean, you know?
What?
oh, popping, body rocking. No homo.
Take note, XQC.
I like how they got
That's
the
how you
better
get a worm.
breakdancer to show up.
Is that an LL Cool J sample?
I missed it.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
No,
boy.
body
that
moving.
was something. That was
Oh,
something.
who did body moving? Jesus.
Man.
Now I gotta look
Holy
this up.
shit.
Can we get a
was
movie
his
where
name?
Richard Simmons and Vin Diesel have to dance together? I want
Not
that
anymore.
so bad.
I do $1 billion.
AI it.
Just have Vin Diesel be in the Pauly Shore Richard Simmons movie as a
Could Vin Diesel
supporting
be Richard
character.
Simmons?
No,
They're
Vin Diesel
interchangeable
plays
in my
Pauly
mind.
Shore approaching Richard Simmons to make a movie about his life. There you go.
Pauly Shore and Richard Simmons were the same person. Wait.
Vin Diesel
God.
showing up like, "Hey, what's up, buddy? I want to make a movie about you."
About
It'd be
family.
awesome. It's about family. Yeah. I knew
It's
that
not
was
about
coming.
family.
I
It's
knew that
about
was coming.
barbecues and Corona. Let's be honest.
Yeah, brought to you
Sure.
by Corona.
Barbecues and Corona. It's a Jimmy Buffett song for sure, right there.
Actually, Enzo, I can ask the panel now because we did a poll in the drinker group about Friday the 13th coming up, and we listed every Friday the 13th film that people would want to watch. I was legit shocked that people picked the very first one. Just because, like, you know,
I
it's
mean,
not
everyone's a purist. Everyone's got to be a fucking purist all the time.
I'm just, yeah,
What
that's
is
why,
one?
Classic.
which I get that.
I said I like part 6. I like part 6.
It's just
I mean,
the
I'm
one that
fucking
doesn't
Part 4, A New Beginning.
Yeah, it's just the one that
Nah.
doesn't have Jason. It was everyone's top choice. I'm like, wow. I mean, we're still gonna watch it. I'm just shocked that out of everything Jason's done, that's the one you picked is the very first one, the one that doesn't have Jason.
I was
Well, the
a
first-
big Tom Savini groupie when I was a kid. I was huge.
Well, that's
I
what sucks about one of them has like a lot of the kills censored because it was too gory. It was made by one of the
Number one.
effects guys.
You see the dead bodies, but you don't see anyone dying. It's like, what's the actual point? And then, like, they're like, oh, by the way, there's a twist in the third act you didn't see coming. It's just bad storytelling, bad gore.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no, a creepy gas station. You can put Vincent Price in there, and I'm still not scared. It's so boring and dull.
I plan to get next
want
one
blood.
stream.
What was Adam saying about Tom Savini? I love Tom Savini. Sex machine, always for life.
Yeah,
Isn't the first one where they had to like cut it out because they realized a kid was under 17 or something? They had to like censor a sex scene or something.
It's okay, Barbara. And yeah, let me know if you want to talk about Wasp Woman. That movie's so great.
No, I don't think
Oh
so.
my
I
goodness,
think
that is a
all of
crazy
the
movie.
ones in the original are well into their 20s.
But yeah,
You've
Barbara,
got Kevin Bacon in it, for God's sakes.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon gets the arrow through the back.
Yep.
He's got that star appeal. I mean, there's a few stars in
Kevin
the
Bacon wasn't a
series.
star in Friday the 13th.
Right. But there's like
If you
a
want to
few
talk about
would-be
star appeal in
stars.
movies like Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street is much
There's
more iconic. than
Crispin
Kevin
Glover's
Bacon
in one of the Nightmare.
Yeah, that's
in
like
one of the
Halloween
Jason's.
4, I think, 4 or 5, with Crispin
Yeah.
Glover, where he's doing that crazy dance.
Yeah.
Then he gets killed by the he gets his hand nailed down
Right.
by the corkscrew.
He's looking for the corkscrew. Yeah, where's the corkscrew?
Where's the corkscrew?
There's also my favorite death in all the Jason movies is probably, I think it's part 6. It's the sleeping bag death scene where he takes that girl, beats her to death with the sleeping bag. And that was another one of those scenes that was like way more violent, you know, like he beats her until the bag is like full of like red syrup basically. And that was edited.
Yeah.
Is it the first or the second one where he shoves something? The guy is screwing the girl and he shoves something through the guy into the girl, pins him to the bed.
Oh,
I think
I
that's the
don't know.
first one.
But that would have been the woman. That's the other problem with the first one. It's like it's hard to realize, like, oh, an old woman killed all these people, these like young, virile teenagers. At least Jason was like a huge hulking like monster.
I feel like they hit their stride with 2 through 4, where like stuff actually happened.
Is it the third one when he finally gets the mask?
Yes. Yeah. The first one is Potato Sack Head. Sorry, second one is Potato Sack Head. First one's the mother, obviously, Mrs. Voorhees.
And then third one at the end, getting the girl in the boat where she flips out. She hallucinates him coming up out of the lake.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The second one is then, oh no, actually, Jason only lived about 8 feet from where his mom was walking around, but somehow she didn't know. Okay, so I can see this wasn't planned in any way.
Well, my question is, why wouldn't they just close that camp down and not go there? Just go to another camp. Like, if you know people are dying and you can't explain it, just knock all the cabins down.
Look, there's a serious capital investment involved in owning a camp. It's not like you can just sell it. Yeah. I mean, we got the bad guy. It's all good, right? It was the mom.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Jason movies, the trilogy after Final Chapter. I like 6, 7, and 8 best. 6 is the one where Jason is officially like resurrected from the dead with lightning, and he's officially like a Frankenstein monster. And then 7 is where he fights the psychic girl.
Yeah, who is it that's digging him up and gets killed?
It's supposed to be in part 6.
It's a pretty famous actor, but it's a bit role where he's the one that digs him up, and then the lightning hits.
Part 7 or which one?
Yeah, in part 6 he plays Corey Feldman's character, and I think it's the guy from Tears from the Sun. What's his name? His father's a famous producer. Friday the 13th 6. That's the one I love. Anyway,
see, I own 7.
Jason Lives.
7 and 8 on VHS.
Oh, it's Thomas Matthews. Never mind. I'm thinking of someone else. David Kagan from Star Trek is the sheriff. I don't know. Tom Matthews was in Return of the Living Dead. That's where I know him best from. He's the jockey dude that gets turned into a zombie.
I feel like Friday the 13th just falls under like PG horror, like what we would have The Conjuring or Paranormal Activity, and they just keep going and they get worse and worse as they go on. People are hey, it's so scary. It's a classic.
It's not even scary.
There's nothing scary about it. It's just
fun death scenes and titties.
Friday the 13th was always a slasher movie. There was nothing especially scary about it, right? It's let's do kills and let's.
You watch people die in that movie, and you're like, cool,
right? And also it's a morality tale, right? That's kind of the origin of why Scream starts talking about. Look, if you don't have sex, then you're safe, right? Because it's Friday the 13th that sets that standard. Friday the 13th is just a bad copy of Halloween.
Chastity. Yeah, exactly. And also
Halloween doesn't have that morality play so much.
Yeah, and it's funny because like Jason was Friday the 13th was a cheap knockoff of Halloween, but I'd argue more successful in terms of like longevity and the series overall. Like with Halloween, like only the first movie's good.
I mean the one with the little girl isn't bad.
That Season of the Witch. That's part 3 or
Season of the Witch is crazy. That one's
crazy.
Nothing to do with Michael Myers at all. It's basically stuff. The stuff is like the sequel to Season of the Witch.
Oh,
what is that song?
Silver Shamrock. That's the name of the company.
Yeah, but what is this? How does the song go?
That makes the mask. Oh, all the lyrics I know,
it's a famous song. It's like
there's your karaoke song right there.
There you go. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that. How many? Did I get an extra sub yet? No, probably not. Doubt it. But anyway, Halloween 3.
Was it so? Is it 4 or 5 that has the little girl? I can never remember.
Yeah.
But hilariously, so I think it's either in 2 or 3. The doctor blows himself up and then somehow shows up and he's just got like a little scratch or something. That's supposed to be the extent of what happened to him.
I mean,
I also hated when they.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was saying I also hated when they turned Michael Myers into Jamie Lee Curtis's brother. That was stupid. Part 2.
What?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the that's hinted at with the little girl, where the little girl is supposed to be like from the family somehow, and I always remember the ending where the doctor is yelling no because the little girl has become a killer.
Yeah, I have such a vivid memory of that little girl in the clown outfit at the end holding the knife on the staircase. It's like, no, no.
Yeah.
Wasn't it that little girl from Party of Five and Mean Girls and shit?
I love Party of Five.
God damn it, this is bothering
me. Little
black-haired
girl. Yeah.
It looks like it's Halloween 5.
This is bothering me. Halloween series. We've got Halloween 4, Halloween 5, The Revenge. This is the one with the little girl. Yeah. And it is Danielle Harris, who, what was she in? Oh, she's in The Last Boy Scout. That's who I know her as, is Bruce Willis.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she is. She's the mouthy daughter of Bruce Willis. Yeah.
That was bothering me.
Good old Satan Claus.
Has anyone sat through every single Leprechaun movie?
I think I've watched the first one and that was entertaining. The second one, I was like, I'm out. Bye.
Yeah.
Me and Megan watched part 3, which is probably my favorite of all of them.
Got to get to Leprechauns in space. It's fantastic. It's Alien with leprechauns. It's
Leprechaun 4 is space, and then Leprechaun in the Hood. There's 2 Leprechaun in the Hood movies.
Back in the Hood. Yeah. With Ice
and then there was like a Leprechaun reboot, which I never saw. And then I think another. Was there another one where Warwick Davis was the Leprechaun? Can't remember.
Nah, he only did like 7.
I don't know because there was a big mashup. So that's mid late 80s. You have Leprechaun, you have Troll, Puppet Master. Just a whole bunch of that was when everybody was like, oh my god,
we wanted to do a Ginger Bong Man, and what was the other one?
There were like 7 Killer Bong movies, and I've watched
the Killer Bong and the Ginger the Dead Man. That's what it was.
Ginger Snaps is great.
Oh, I love Ginger Snaps 1 and 2. Those are both good. Yeah, that's a great werewolf movie, and it's all a metaphor about becoming a woman.
I mean, I thought that's what The Howling was it the sequel where your sister's a werewolf?
Yeah. I like part 3
what a
and
huge
6.
drop off on that too. Yeah, because was it the third one's in Australia where they're marsupials, right?
Marsupials, yeah. I was joking about
Howling, what a huge drop. But The Howling is a great movie. That has great effects or whatever. And it was like, okay, we're just going to cash in for $8 a movie after that. And
all the sequels are terrible, and they're all could have been. They're all like kind of werewolf movies that are just kind of given the name Howling.
Yeah,
to kind of like brand recognition, but I do like
one is super underrated.
Yeah, the first one is great.
Second best werewolf movie ever.
Come on,
Great boy. London.
Yeah, I mean, certainly for the transformation.
And
franchises
also like,
that go south quick. You got Carrie 2: The Rage. That is a piece of garbage.
But also
that was like 10 years or better.
There's
after
8 Howling
the
movies. You understand? There's 8 Howling movies. They're all bad except for part 6.
10
I like part 6
movies now. Don't even go to 10.
Howling Part 6 was the one where it was werewolf versus vampire way before Underworld, and it's like a crazy vampire owns a circus full of freaks, and there's like a drifter in town. Have you guys seen the Howling Part 6? Watch it. It's great. It's fucking badass.
I'm very dubious of this recommendation.
It's actually a pretty awesome. It's actually a pretty awesome made for TV style. Like imagine like a 90-minute, Outer Limits episode with werewolves.
The
and
sci-fi version of the Howling. Yeah.
Did he go to space though?
No. It's just a good like werewolf versus vampire in like a Americana style. Like, is it the 30s? Is it present day? I don't know. It's this kind of setting, and it's like circus backdrop. It's very, very.
Actually, a forgotten kind of Americana horror movie is Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Yeah. And what's his name?
Seen that since it came out.
What's his name from Brazil? Wasn't he the main guy in that one?
Yeah. And Jason Robards.
There you go.
Jason Robards.
I had to watch that one. I had to watch that one in high school, in English class.
Yeah, I haven't seen that probably since the early 90s, maybe. And it may have been earlier than that.
That'll be a good Schlocktober movie next year for another public domain one. I think that is.
Return to Oz ever for one of those things? Because that is a banana.
Sure.
Movie.
I have a fun story about Return to Oz. Like I was saying, just like hooking up with random goth chicks in Mexico from high school.
Return to Oz has Fairuza Balk from
Kraft. Me and Megan watched The Worst Witch this Schlocktober with Fairuza Balk. That was fun, right, Meg? She's sleeping. But yes, it was good.
I don't know if it's still there, but Fairuza Balk owned a witchcraft store in Hollywood.
Why?
In the early 2000s.
Was she like witchy before she got into the craft, or is she just capitalizing on the craft?
I don't know. I never went there, but I knew it was a thing. My ex-wife was kind of obsessed with her.
Huh.
Yeah, certain people that are like into her, like, or into those type of girls, you know, like really wild, you know, not super conventionally attractive girls, but obviously like insane in the membrane.
She's got great teeth.
She got very pronounced teeth.
Yeah, some of us learned very early not to stick our dick in crazy, and so ignored those kinds of people.
Some of us developed a taste for it.
But there's like a hot to crazy ratio, and like, yeah, Fairuza Balk is like on the less attractive side, but like she's like
she somehow inverts the curve where she's actually less attractive but more crazy. Yeah.
But I mean, like, I started watching Return to Oz, and like they're like, "Hey, you're crazy, kid. Let's hook you up to electroshock therapy. Then you're going to travel to a foreign land, talk to a sandwich monster." It's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
it's just
there's not really a whole lot of Wizard of Oz stuff going on. I mean, honestly, The Wiz is kind of
The Wiz is actually more accurate by a lot. Yeah,
take the Muppets Wizard of Oz as a sequel.
Is that a thing?
It is. As a self-proclaimed Muppet fan, has anyone seen Gothica?
Yeah, with Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
I love that movie. That is one of my absolute favorite horror movies. I think it's so creative but weird at times.
That's so funny. I remember one of the ones.
Robert Downey Jr. like the stack
cast. It was very much of a time, and I think when I rewatched it within like the last decade, it was like, this is some dated shit. This reminds me of like The Net. It's just that kind of could only really make sense in a certain
90s neo goth.
Like The Cell. Blue Eyes.
Yeah. Do what?
Limp Bizkit, Behind Blue Eyes is the credit track.
You guys want to hear a funny story? One time I had a roommate who brought home. I don't know. He was like at not a Best Buy. He was like at a Dillard's or like some mall store, like a fucking Mervin's or some bullshit store. And for some reason, he bought like a $40 double disc edition of The Eye with Jessica Alba. Now, neither of us had seen this, right? And he paid like $30-something for the double disc, DVD, and we both
kept the receipt on that one.
It was so bad.
I hope there's commentary.
He held his head down in shame, like that was buyer's remorse, like I had never seen before. Oh man, and I was just laughing because the movie was so bad, and I was kept joking, like, you paid $40 for this. We could have rented it in a Redbox for $1.
Yeah, the thing is, the one thing I noticed is like in the 90s. A lot of the horror movies, other than just, shit schlock, like, Jason 47 or whatever the hell, right? Most of it was like that annoying 90s. Look at me, I'm ironic. No, you're moronic. It's different. But they tried to, it was that attitude of the 90s where it was, I've climbed entirely up my own ass because I listened to way too much grunge. And now I'm going to make crap movies, but I'm doing it ironically. It was like, fuck off, all of you. So there's a whole spate of 90s movies that I would be happy to see burn in a fire.
Well, and like the early 2000s ones, which is more like The Eye and Gothica and all that stuff. And then there was like Drag Me to Hell and I mean,
hate that
there's the like Vex was talking about all the Paranormal Activity movies. Not a fan of those. House of Wax and Paris Hilton.
Oh
god, that was
classic. People watch that ironically now.
Wow.
The Paris. I mean, I like the Final Destination movies. I liked Jeepers Creepers. I liked Dawn of the Dead remake and Ginger Snaps we talked about earlier, and Slither.
The first Saw came out in the early 2000s. That one was
Saw. Yeah. No, I like the first Saw. What's funny about Paranormal Activity is like, because I've joked about it before. It's like, look, when you see like a video of a normal person, like, hey, here's security video from my house, and like the door is moving by itself, or the lights are turning off and on by itself, and it's like real footage from someone with a real house with real camera, that's scary. But if it's like, hey, we're watching a fictitious movie and the lights are turning off,
made me so angry that I don't think I could ever watch another found footage movie again.
Oh, please tell me how I made you
insulted
angry.
on a personal level.
Right, but who was talking about it on the stream earlier about how they love the Blair Witch? Someone on the panel earlier.
I think it was Mrs. Sassy.
Yeah.
No, it was Jay. It was
Jay.
It was
Yeah,
Desolate,
Jay like Blair Witch.
Yeah,
dude,
the
I
thing
didn't tell
about,
my
thing
Blair
about
Witch
Blair
story.
Witch. So as Bagface and I were talking in the chat for that, so the marketing for that was really genius.
Yeah,
because they did it on no budget, and they're really the first ones to do the internet style.
The
stuff,
marketing was exceptional.
Yeah, and the one thing that I'll give Blair Witch is that the use of sound is really good in that movie. Shame about the rest of it, but the use of sound, that deep thrumming that happens when you're in the theater watching it, right? That kind of set you on edge, and then you just keep just like, bitch, if you scream one more time, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out. You know, you're reminding me of Kate Capshaw in Temple of Doom. And then the ending happens so fast that you're like, wait, what was he doing in the corner? Was he hanging? Was he I don't know. It's the end. Bye.
Not fast enough.
Yeah, man. No, it was the rest of the movie that needed to go a lot faster.
Oh God, I was so mad.
I told that story about how some woman yelled at that baby in the middle of the Blair Witch, shut that fucking baby up, right? This baby was crying in the middle of like the quiet. What's that noise? You hear that? The baby starts crying. Where in the top of the back of the theater, and everyone is just like, no, are you serious?
Someone brought a baby to Blair Witch.
And the baby starts crying and crying and crying, and the woman sitting right in front of me just turns around and she's like, shut that fucking baby up as loud as she could. And I remember being like a 15-year-old, like watching this woman, like, you know, shout at a baby, in the whole theater like erupts in applause, like, yeah, get that fucking baby out of here. The woman takes the baby out of the theater. But also what was funny about Blair Witch was, like, I remember before the movie started, we're all, you know, back, we had to like first come, first seat. You sit in line, you get to the movie 30 minutes early, especially if it's going to be a popular movie like the Blair Witch, like a real hyped up movie. And you wait in line. And about 30 minutes, 40 minutes before the movie starts, you start sitting down. Well, the movie's going to start in now 5 minutes, and we're still sitting out there in the aisle. Like, what the hell's going on? And eventually this guy comes out, it's attendant, and he's like, hey guys, sorry, having a little extra time trying to clean up the theater. A lot of people vomited during the showing of this movie. And we're all like, oh, really? This movie's going to be scary.
They were lying to you. They were lying to you.
We're like halfway through the movie, and my friend Larry, he's like another 12-year-old or whatever, 13-year-old, however old we were. And we had just eaten huge double fucking bacon cheeseburgers from Cheddar's, you know, right before we went to go to the movie. Damn. And he's just like holding me like by my fucking bicep. He's just like, dude, I think I'm gonna be sick, bro. And like we're watching the movie, and I look at the screen, and it's just like, yeah, it's just they're walking in the woods. That's all that's happening. And I'm like, oh, is that why people are puking in this movie? Lame.
Yeah, well, you were talking about the lady that turned around and yelled about shutting up the baby. So when I went to go see Revenge of the Sith, I had some coworkers like, dude, we got to go opening night. And it was like, I don't need to go. Fuck these prequels or whatever. He's like, no, we got to go. And I was like, man, there's going to be a bunch of like, 30-year-old virgins dressed up as all this shit. He goes, no, I mean, it's not going to happen. Whatever. We showed up. Sure shit. Yeah. So
there will be,
man. If you thought the X-Wing pilot from Ahsoka was fat, I saw some X-Wing pilots.
That's Chum-Li.
Yeah, and then I saw Princess Leia, who had clearly eaten a lot of cinnamon buns before putting them on the sides of her heads. But we go in, and that opening scene when R2 is like flying around and doing whatever, there's just continuous cheering and clapping, and I'm already getting pissed. And so then it was something else where they're like, "Hi, R2," and he, beep boops, and they clap. And I said, in used diaphragm, I projected quite well, if you don't stop, the next sound of clapping you'll hear will be my ball sack on your forehead. And that was the end of clapping. And dude behind me leans over and goes, dude, did you just say you were going to teabag them? Yeah, right on, man. Yeah.
Stay on target.
My goodness. Do you guys remember the trend from Terrifier 2 where all the teenagers would go to the theater and the girls would come out just absolutely disgusted? I had like probably 15 of these teenage girls come out, and I don't really care if you go see the movie. It's your own fault. And they were like, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Why did I follow that TikTok trend? I'm like, I don't know. But like,
so funny.
It was a thing.
That's a pretty good TikTok trend. You know, because it's like most TikTok trends are like, hey, go lay in traffic or eat paint thinner. It's like, hey, go see the scary movie. It's like, okay, I get behind that one.
Yeah, go see
enjoy the
clowns
bedroom
torture
scene.
people.
Enjoy the bedroom scene. It's the best part of. It's one of the best fucking kills of any fucking horror movie in recent memory. It's fucking badass. And it's great because she doesn't even die. Spoilers. She's like totally alive. Disturbing. It's just one of these things where, like, you know, you got these stuntmen making John Wick movies. Well, when you got like gore effects artists making their own horror movies just so they could do gore effects, you know, it's like, hell yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you got to.
Let's get it, boys. And that's what I was saying earlier on the Exorcist stream. It's like, honestly, every horror movie is pulling their punches. It's kind of what I want to do with my vampire book. Like, I don't want to pull any punches. Like, it'd be easy to fucking scare the fuck out of people, traumatize the shit out of them. Most movies try to be tasteful, even the real sick ones. You know, either they don't have the budget or they don't have the balls to really freak you the fuck out.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm sick of jump scares. I want classic horror. I love the old original Universal monster stuff. I want atmosphere. I want tension. I want performances.
But also shit like I was talking about, like shit like the baseball bat scene in Casino. Like that's the shit that'll like haunt you for the rest of your life. Like I think a scary movie should be like really fucking scary. And like sometimes, like, yeah, you might need to see a visceral act of violence or two.
I like it as emphasis, yeah. But I mean, overall, that, you know, if that happens 2 or 3 times in a movie, that's not enough for me to want to watch it again.
Do you guys think
I could go 3 or 4 or 5, you know, whatever. Let's up those numbers. I don't care.
Do you guys think that Fire in the Sky is a horror film?
Yeah, sci-fi horror for sure.
Okay.
It's awesome. Sci-fi thriller. Extraterrestrial whodunit mystery thriller horror movie.
I recently shared that on Facebook. My sister's that infamous scene. When we were kids, that freaked us the fuck out. when they had
the pancake syrup scene. Is that what you're talking about?
Just the whole sequence where he's reminiscing what they did to him and stuff. Yeah, the whole eye and stuff.
When it all looks, and like also the idea that like the classic gray alien that we see drawn everywhere, that's their spacesuit.
Yeah,
you know? Like
those fuckers were ugly as fuck, man. Like,
well, that was based on a guy that actually disappeared in the woods and
God.
came back with that story.
Yeah, true story. Yeah.
Amateur analyst came in just for a few seconds, and then his dog puked and shit all over his carpet. I'm sorry, buddy.
Jesus. Must be a TikTok trend.
The Exorcist.
Did you give him the grimace shake or?
Sharon Stone was more evil than the monsters. I don't think she was evil. She was just, you know, a dumb whore. You know. But yeah, speaking of horror,
Sorry,
yeah,
children.
sorry about that, amateur.
Well, I
don't know, a big dog or a little dog.
I don't know if anybody other than Jay is of the generation, but we used to listen to the Art Bell show and listen to these guys talk about their abductions.
Coast to coast, baby, coast to coast.
Yeah, and Dreamland and everything else. Whitley Strieber, the author of Communion. We'd lay awake all night listening to the AM radio or driving cross country, whatever, trying to tune it in, and you would hear all of that Fire in the Sky, all that. Travis? What's his name?
Bickle.
No.
He got so mad he went and shot up some people in New York after driving a taxi.
You trying to abduct me? You trying to abduct me?
Yeah.
No.
I'm the only one here. You must be trying to abduct me.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was aliens, but yeah, so like Fire in the Sky and stuff like that was not too shocking to me because I had already had like a pretty firm foundation.
Yeah, I always viewed like Fire in the Sky. So the alien abduction stuff and all this stuff, I always kind of put in the fantasy genre.
And it feels kind of after school, especially really if you dug into the genre at all or the
what's his name? The T-1000. He's
Patrick,
great in that one. Yeah. Robert Patrick.
Yeah.
Robert Patrick. Yeah. Mad props. He barely blinks in that movie. Like he trained himself not
all
to
that
blink.
cocaine. It's all that trigger speed.
No, he actually that was intentionally. He didn't want. He always wanted to stare. He never wanted to blink to make him look unnatural.
Yeah, I caught him once or twice, but in the whole movie, wow.
I mean, well, to be fair, Mr. Moto did the whole thing without blinking too. So
he also did it without acting.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Hello, Moto. Yeah, weird.
Does anyone else want a sequel to Tuck and Dale versus Evil as bad as me?
Oh my god, hell yeah!
I want a sequel so bad.
I don't know if a sequel, but definitely something in the same vein of that. Yeah, I mean,
like another Cabin in the Woods.
Maybe,
Tuck and
yeah,
Dale.
I miss the good like mix of comedy horror, like House, right?
Yeah,
the original House was
or Shaun of the Dead.
House or Shaun of the Dead, or all
love
that
me
stuff,
the Tales from the Crypt episodes. You can find a lot of them on YouTube. They're so good to revisit.
Or the Tales from the Crypt, the movie.
Oh, Demon Knight fucking rocks, dude.
Demon Knight, not so much, no, but the original Tales from the Crypt movie.
The 60s one.
No, the one. So you had Tales from the Crypt, the movie, and then you had, what the hell was the other one? But the one with Debbie Harry.
No, you're thinking of Tales from the Dorkside movie, which is also good.
Right. But then there's also a Tales from the Crypt because they use the Crypt Keeper and all that shit from.
Well, there's Tales from the Crypt. Demon Knight was the first one. Then there's Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood, and then there's a third lesser known one called Ritual. But you're thinking of Tales from the Dorkside movie,
right.
And then there's also the Twilight Zone movie, which was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Tales from the Dorkside movie
killed someone
while
they were filming it.
Yeah. But yeah, the Debbie Harry one. Debbie Harry's like a witch. Debbie Harry's a witch about to cook a child.
Yeah,
and he's like
telling him stories to try and buy time.
By trying to tell stories. Yeah, it's so good.
How great would a Twilight reboot be? Because like you could bring in Jordan Peele and Ari Aster and all these different people to make these weird, messed up stories, and you do like 8-episode seasons. You know, like you could have some really cool, creative micro horror there. That'd be really great stuff.
Well, that was always what like. So you had the the one we control the horizontal, the vertical.
Outer
Limits, right? So you had Outer Limits and then Twilight Zone, where I don't have to have continuing bullshit. I don't have to have recurring characters and anything like that, right? I just need really good writers who can do an episode of really good horror or sci-fi or thrills or things like that. I mean, I always remember the one with Burgess Meredith where he's the last man on Earth and he's so happy because he hates people. They're always interrupting him or whatever, and he just wants to read books. And he's got all the library and all that stuff, and he fucks up and breaks his glasses. And it ends with him just sitting there going, "It's not fair. It's not fair." Right? Yeah. There was no horror. There was no aliens showing up and all that stuff. Right? It was just this crazy story.
It's existential horror. It's,
right.
It's uncomfortable as fuck.
Yeah, I loved all those Tales from the Crypt episodes that were all cool morality tales, like the one where Christopher Reeves has the fucking squid restaurant and his busboy Gaston, played by Judd Nelson, like shows him this really good barbecue recipe, and they're gonna make all this money. And it turns out they like cooked their fucking landlord that needs money. Meatloaf, he's played by Meatloaf, and like basically Christopher Reeve and Christopher Reeve and his wife, they're all basically accomplices for this murder, so they have to go along with it.
Sweeney Todd.
But then, of course, the end is like, oh, they actually like the taste of all the meat, and they're gonna keep going with it. So
make money. Well, we're gonna need more.
Not just Rocky Horror. They ate Meatloaf in that.
Yeah. What are the
Creep Show was another.
Oh fuck yes, both of them.
Show is fantastic.
Yeah, both of them.
Creep Show 1's a better movie, but The Raft in part 2 is the best out of all the stories.
The Raft actually is a little scary. Yeah, my butt.
The Raft rules, man. And also, it's
when he's sitting there and he's celebrating, I beat you. No, you didn't. No.
A big wave.
Yeah.
And then pan out to the big no swimming sign.
The first Creep Show is fantastic. Not only does it have a great cast and Tom Savini again doing the effects, but
Stephen King.
The horror comic backgrounds, the zigzags and the red lighting, and
the integration of the comic stuff, especially with the crate. Yeah.
I used to have the Creep Show comic that Bertie Wrightson drew, and I fucking don't have. I lost it somewhere. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, there was also Night of the Terror Train. If anyone saw that, that was a 3-part horror anthology movie.
Oh yeah,
God and the Devil train, and they go to different stories, and it's completely bonkers at points.
Well, Trilogy of Terror.
Trilogy. Me and Blue Collar watched Trilogy of Terror. That was dope.
That guy is around. That
interesting.
It was great because it was like this one woman playing 4 characters in 3 stories. And she was a total chameleon of an actress.
Was that Barbara Steele? Who was that?
Karen Black, I think.
Karen Black.
Yeah, Karen Black.
She was dope in that movie. I was like, we were genuinely impressed by her ability to blend into 4 different characters seamlessly.
Yeah, the interesting thing is I've probably seen Trilogy of Terror 10 times, and the only story I remember is the one with the fetish doll.
The Zunu doll. Yeah,
it's
Zuni doll.
unhinged. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It
very much reminds me of like Puppet Master, but 10 years prior.
Dude, so weird. And also, before Chucky, before Child's Play, which I said, I mean, I do like the first one because it's the scariest, but part 2 is the goriest, and part 3 is where it starts getting like goofy. And, Bride of Chucky, Son of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, those are bizarre. But, I don't know. The first 2 especially, like, I love them. I like Chucky, Brad Dourif, just like the idea of this little foul-mouthed doll.
The hilarious thing is that so, especially if you're of the age like Adam and I are, you recall that when Chucky came out was right around the time that the toy companies decided we need to have dolls for boys. And so they had a thing called My Buddy.
Oh my God.
And they also had My Monster.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Remember My Monster?
Yeah.
I remember My Monster. I had one.
I still garbage bill kids.
Yeah. Yeah, but that fucking My Buddy thing, it was, my buddy, where
wasn't that before Chucky? Isn't that where that came from?
Yeah, that's the origin of Chucky. And that's why it was so much better when you had Chucky, because it was basically the kid going, I want the stupid My Buddy doll. And yeah, well, that didn't work out for you.
Yeah.
Get your ass beat on the playground for carrying.
That was the first scary movie I ever saw at 5 years old. I thought it was safe because the mother from Seventh Heaven was on there. It was not. I was traumatized as a 5-year-old. Certain TV stations would be like child friendly and then change to horror movies after dark. It was one of those.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That's when I would only watch the channels, But I love how Child's Play, the first one, it's like, first the title, like, we know all the movies now are like, they're called Chucky movies, but like Child's Play, it's a great title about a killer doll. But also, I love how in the first one there's a whole lot of like, is it the kid? The kid is gone crazy and blaming it on the doll,
right?
Like, you literally don't know for a while. I mean, there's evidence to support it's the doll, but it's only until like the battery scene that the mother confirms. I think we actually see the doll like kill that dude with the gas stove before that, if I'm not mistaken, or if not shortly after.
Give him credit. He's still around. I mean, the Chucky series is what, season 3 or something?
Yeah.
So,
I like how Chucky's evolved, just like how Jason evolved. It seems like Freddy actually evolved the least out of all the slashers. He's been pretty stagnant. He's like a crocodile. He has no need to change. He's been awesome from the start. Whereas like Jason,
it slips into self-parody, just like the Frankenstein movies did and the Godzilla movies did. You can only do so many sequels.
Jason evolved to be like a super unkillable, like, supernatural zombie. Chucky, he's evolved to have like the stitches, he's like the living voodoo doll, with like the scarring and stuff.
Yeah, Michael Myers became just a complete parody.
Yeah, Michael Myers kind of fell off. And especially it sucks because like I was excited about the first David Gordon Green Halloween movie. I liked it. I liked how visceral like Michael killed. Like he was like an insatiable shark, just like seeing anything and just like going to kill, go kill Michael. But the second and third one happened, and it's fucking terrible now.
Yeah, but I think that's the if you look at the remakes, it's like they're remaking later versions of Michael Myers, right? Not the original. The interesting thing, so Michael Myers he's not just if you come near me, I kill you, right? It's something just gets him to target, right? But like the little kid runs up to him in the original movie and he lets him go. It's no problem. He walks by plenty of people that he could kill, but then I like to joke that he's the original "fuck you, Karen," because the bitch yells at him for speeding, and that's it. He's suddenly on target, and he goes after those people.
Are the Rob Zombie ones any good? I know they made the Rob
I didn't
Zombie
like
Halloween.
those. I didn't like those. Too much backstory. Too much trying to justify who.
I wouldn't wipe my ass
is.
with Rob Zombie, to be honest with you. He's terrible.
I always heard after he did House of 1,000 Corpses, I heard like his second movie back in the day was going to be The Blob. He was going to remake The Blob again, and he still to this day never did that. And instead, he did a bunch of other weird movies that I really don't care for that much. I mean, they're okay. I don't know. They have a big cult following.
If you want to see a travesty, look at the animated movie that he did a long time ago. It's the dumbest, stupidest jokes and the worst script ever, and the animation is fantastic.
Are you talking about like El Super Bisto or
Yes.
whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
The animation in that is just
got
phenomenal.
just a bunch of like hot demon babes, and Tom Papa or whatever his name is does the voice of Super Bisto.
Yeah, and it's like a Laurel and Hardy script. Like it's awful, and he wrote it, and it's just such a waste. I've done some animation.
It has like a Ren and Stimpy style animation character designs,
ish, but in a horror sort of way with like big boob, crazy
big
women and
girls,
all kinds of stuff.
So it's like Heavy Metal meets Ren and Stimpy.
I asked because I accidentally bought the new Monsters reboot from him and hated it.
I'm so sorry.
I love
it's like, why not make that black and white? I saw like the footage.
I don't
of
know.
That
It wasn't good. It wasn't the Monsters.
It wouldn't matter. How about just make it black and not film it? How about that?
Yeah. Don't even show it. That lighting is a fucking insult.
It was something else. It was so bad. I just turned it off and said whatever.
Man, yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's an alternate world where Rob Zombie just remade the Blob instead.
I don't know.
Maybe an alternate world where he has talent. That would be useful.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I used to work with his tour manager, and he showed me a video of Rob Zombie just sitting on the edge of the stage, giving the whole show.
That was revolting. The stream or the dog shit and puke? Which
Amateur's back from his horror show.
I hate beheading. They ruin all the fun. Okay. Maybe that's a typo. I don't know.
Do you guys have any favorite TV Halloween episodes you watch every year?
Well, Treehouse of Horror, obviously, every one of those.
I mean, Charlie Brown,
Mad Monster Party. Monster Party is pretty racy. There is some weird stuff in there. If you haven't seen that, that's a Rankin Bass animation stop motion. It's very worth checking out.
What are we talking about?
You got to throw in the Community episodes from the Halloween.
Yeah, I like a couple of the Bob's Burgers Halloween episodes are pretty fun. But yeah, specifically like for like Treehouse of Horror, dude, like I love the one where Principal Skinner and all the teachers are like cooking the children, and then what else? There's the other one where the kids.
Remember the first South Park Halloween one.
Where so many South Park Halloween ones.
But the first one is Cartman gets busted because remember, kids dressing like Hitler in school isn't cool.
Oh, I seen that.
And then he switches to being a ghost, but the ghost has a pointy hat, and Chef screams and runs off. He's like, "Wow, I didn't realize that Chef was afraid of ghosts." And then when they're trick or treating, they actually trick or treat a.
Damn.
I wanted to hear the end of that.
Oh, Jay.
Well, there's also the one where the pink eye, where they all get zombies from Kenny.
Gave me pink eye.
There's the corn Halloween episode of South Park. Amateur analyst Stupenzo, loved your insights on the cannoli stream. Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for coming out to the after party. We're still going strong here, 2 hours and change.
All right, where the hell did I drop off?
You were talking about South Park, the episode, Halloween episode with what was it?
Cartman. So Cartman originally dresses as Hitler and he gets in trouble. So then he decides to be a ghost, but he's wearing a sheet, and Chef runs away, and he's like, "Wow, I didn't realize that Chef was so afraid of ghosts." And then they go trick or treating, and they end up at a Klan house, and the only person they give candy to is Cartman.
You
were talking about the pink eye one. It's not Kenny's fault. It's the mortician screwing up and putting Worcestershire sauce in him, and they call the Worcestershire sauce hotline because of the zombie outbreak.
Dude, also the one where they have the goldfish from hell or whatever from the alternate dimension, and that's where they get like evil Cartman, and he's basically like nice Cartman with a goatee, and they all come from
he has a goatee like evil Spock.
Yeah, exactly.
Reverse Cartman.
She's so good.
I love the one where they get Starving Marvin.
Yeah.
Where they donate to the starving kid, and they actually send Starving Marvin to him, but the only reason that they donated was to get the cool Takeo sports watch.
Right.
The ending of that episode is
appetizer.
hilarious.
You eat before you eat to make you more
yeah,
hungry.
when Cartman's out in the desert, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?
Yeah, that's like first season, second season.
First season, yeah.
Appetizers are the food we eat before we eat to make us more hungry.
Sally Struthers, give me that sandwich. No, it's my sandwich.
Yeah, and then what was it, the Succubus episode? That was a good one. And,
yeah. Mecha Streisand, another fine episode.
Oh man, specifically like the zombie, the homeless, the Night of the Living Homeless.
Yes.
Where it's like all the homeless people getting killed constantly, like acting being treated like zombies, dude. Holy shit, that was graphic. Yeah. Oh, the Hell on Earth. That was a good Halloween South Park episode where Satan's having his Sweet 16. Good shit.
I love what season was it when the gal who did all the female voices committed suicide, and then they just stopped doing Crabtree and Wendy Testerberger and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but I remember hearing about that. And then
it was like maybe fourth season or so when that happened.
And I think it was like she also was the original Miss Cartman.
No, I don't think so. So she was Stan's sister, the one with the braces.
Oh yeah, stop looking at my head.
Stop looking at my braces, Stan. Yeah, she was Mrs. Crabtree, the bus driver, and she was Wendy Testerberger.
Oh, that's terrible. I didn't know.
Yeah, and then they decided they wouldn't recast any of those characters.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Miss Chokes on Dick, or the bus driver, Miss Crabtree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a couple Halloween episodes in recent. I did like the one where they took all the scooters away and they were planning to get from house to house because I'm really mad at scooters downtown. And then the one where they're trying to sell more weed on Halloween or whatever holiday it was than the other farm. And I was like, yeah, this is relatable. There's like 12 weed stores on the same block. Like, it's just.
Well, they are in Colorado. It's understandable. Yeah.
What about the one where Randy buys the last Blockbuster and it's like fucking haunted? And he's like, "Oh, I get it. Oh yeah, it's so dated and old that yeah, we got ghosts running around." Okay,
Randy on Wheel of Fortune,
dude. Randy Naggers
in blank GGERS. People who annoy us.
You know, I remember watching that episode when I was in prison with a whole room full of black guys in the TV room. And they all laughed their ass off.
Randy is like become my favorite character over the 20 years.
That's why we always laugh at people in the real world. They talk about, everyone being offended. I'm like, well, maybe jail's different, but I didn't know a single fucking black dude that didn't watch South Park and laugh his ass off.
Exactly. It's like, it's amazing what happens when you're actually competent, funny, or insightful in
That's
some
the
way.
beauty of South Park.
Later when
what's his name? Make fun of everybody and make
Al Sharpton?
Laugh.
Al Sharpton comes in, or is it Jesse Jackson? He comes in with his fucking ass, like, kiss it.
Yeah, that's right, kiss it.
Apologize.
Well, I mean, Beavis and Butthead made a movie. Maybe it's time for a second South Park movie.
Oh yeah,
why not?
Yeah,
I would watch that. I go to the
technically the second South Park movie is the Imagination Land arc. I mean, that to me is like technically the second. It's like the first time we got another like a 3-parter. Episode. It was like
I love the movies that they made before South Park.
Cannibal the Musical.
Orgasmo was great.
Yeah,
that is.
I love Cannibal the Musical, man. We're talking about horror movies again. That's like such a fun,
that's
bloody
a trauma release.
Yeah, that's another great trauma film. Oh, dude,
trauma
the sky is blue and all the leaves are green.
They have a website still up.
Warm. As a baked potato, I think you know exactly what I mean.
Team America
when
World
I say it's a spadoinkle day.
They need to make another movie. Just do whatever Trey Parker and Matt Stone want to make. Just put
do the Book of Mormon movie.
There's no studio that wants that smoke.
Do the Book of Mormon movie, and you'll get your fucking EGOT. You'll get your EGOT. You'll get your Oscar finally if you just make the Book of Mormon movie.
It's kind of
so easy.
I feel like Amazon would touch it. I feel like Amazon's crazy enough to touch this movie.
I think Netflix would, because Netflix.
He can make whatever fucking movie he wants. I mean, it's like one of those things where also the thing is like Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they tend to, like right now during these like these sensitive times, like they're still managing to sneak.
Yeah, they've always taken the piss out of whatever. Oh. That's the third rail. You don't touch it. Oh, really? I'm touching it. I'm touching it. I'm touching it.
Yeah. Amateur analyst on the chat brought up.
Did they get car bombed for drawing a certain religious figure? Yeah, it's funny because it's people forget that Muhammad made an appearance in the Super Best Friends episode earlier on in the show.
Yeah,
like all the Super Best Friends show up and they fight giant John Wilkes Booth, David Blaine, the David Blaine episode. Yeah. Muhammad literally shows up. They have him uncensored, and then later, retroactively, they got rid of the episode. It's so weird.
That's edgy. Okay, but I'm sorry, but yeah.
I mean, again, it's look, I'm edgy. I make fun of Christians. Nah, do the Muslims. We'll see how that works out for you, right?
Drama Helmet didn't call me back.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because they did the Super Best Friends. They got Buddha and Jesus and Joe Smith and Muhammad and Buddha and all of them, and they all show up, and it's great. But nobody ever once made a point in that time. I guess this is the late 90s, early 2000s when that episode aired, the David Blaine episode. Nobody really pointed it out that hey, it's kind of a huge big deal to draw Muhammad, and nobody cared. But then I guess
I mean the reason Isaac Hayes left the show was because of the Scientology episode.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, once Chef left, I kind of fell off from South Park.
I mean, it's still the only show on TV that actually has an attempt at humor and writing. Everything else is so sanitized and so safe, and it's haha, network sitcom.
Especially this last season was hilarious.
I mean, if you can't be funny and not be offensive in some way.
Exactly, and definitely
you have to make people uncomfortable.
And people were pissed off even towards Isaac Hayes. Dude, okay, they cracked on Scientology, they crack on everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I joke about my rip tracks.
You were fine when they were busy going after the Catholics and Mormons and all that stuff. But no. Oh, it's my ox being gored. Now I got a problem. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, on our stupid Wii watches and these Schlocktober videos, that's the thing is I try to, I do some clean jokes here and there too, but you say one dirty joke, the whole stream's dirty, the whole episode's dirty.
I was making a post in the drinker group. I watched the first newest 2 episodes of Family Guy, and I was shocked as hell that even Brian made a joke. He's like, "So can I ask a question about penis or vagina since that doesn't matter anymore?" And just they were slaying current woke culture because freaking Meg gets she's a surrogate mother, and Peter makes a joke about pushing her down a flight of stairs, and they make a joke about it. It's this is a different way about abortions. It's not considered abortion if she falls down the stairs. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing is, so that's why I sit back and I'm like, the good news is this stupidity is coming to an end, right?
Yeah.
The people are perceiving the weakness of it, right? For the same reason that you had IGN giving Loki a 5, right? They sense the weakness. And if nothing else, most of the people that are reviewing it and running this stuff are just all about clout and whatever. Oh, what does the in group think this time, right? And when you start to show weakness, when you start to be when they believe that you're no longer in charge, that you can't summon the mob, then suddenly they'll start pointing you out because they will underbus anybody and anything that they claimed that they believed previously, if that's not the new current hotness.
Yeah,
right.
I know
they'll gravitate towards somebody else. That's
I know. Right. I know it was this one joke that somebody said to Meg because with the whole current pop culture stuff, it's the one gay guy Bruce there. He tells Meg, "Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Meg, that unfortunately men can't get pregnant." And I'm like, "Oh shit, imagine someone on Twitter." So the fact that even Family Guy's men can't get pregnant. There you go.
Right. The thing is that people, especially for comedy people. There's always going to be people that kind of want to be safe or whatever, but when somebody's either getting overinflated ego-wise and have started to become self-parodying, and that's when you start jumping on them, right?
Host.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, the weaker comics will wait until it's acceptable or it's starting to become acceptable to mock certain things, right? Strong comics will be like, I can mock whatever the hell at any time, anywhere, right? But yeah, the fact that South Park's always been, what do you got? We'll poke at it, right?
Yeah.
It offends you. Well, we're going to do 2 episodes of that. But other shows starting to do that starts to show that and one thing that so many of these ideologies can't stand up to is mockery, right? You have to respect my authority, right? I'm ultra serious. Nah, you're not.
There are I'm a hard sell on comedy. I have a really tough time with comedy, but You want to watch something that holds up? Team America.
Yeah,
It's Always Sunny. It's Always Sunny still manages to be
I think
offensive, edgy, and they got some good Halloween episodes.
Always Sunny.
Before that, you got to go back to like Caddyshack and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think Always Sunny. They're damn sure is raunchy. It feels like the shows that like South Park, Family Guy, fucking Always Sunny. Once they're grandfathered in past like 10, 15 fucking seasons, they're so old now. You guys can't fuck with them because they've been around for so friggin' long.
Yeah, well, they built their audience. Their audience was always about what's edgy, what works, right? And so oh my God, I'm offended on Twitter. I'll count that as a win. Okay. The problem is that for everybody else who's trying to be ultra safe or whatever, they're very quickly going to become stale because in comparison to those that are actually, trying to be edgy with their humor, because that's kind of necessary for humor.
That's why I did wonder that with Family Guy, because remember Peter made a joke about 4 or 5 seasons ago about like we're not going to do gay jokes anymore, and of course fucking internet Twitter and shit lost their shit, and I'm like the next episode was like, oh, we were just joking about not making gay jokes. So, and Family Guy, because they hand draw it, they film this stuff like 6 months out. So I feel like that was just them poking fun, like, because what was it last year about the whole they tried to cancel Brian, for fucking, and that didn't work. I feel like Family Guy's still mocking that culture.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is once you have somebody come
Brian.
at you, right, and you understand that in order to be canceled, you actually have to be complicit in your cancellation.
Yeah, you have to agree to be canceled.
Right, and so when they stand up and they've defeated the mob, suddenly the mob isn't all that intimidating, and you can start taking a piss out of them, and that is the downfall of the mob over time, right? Is that everybody realizes, oh, this is just an echo chamber.
Kiss my balls. I would love for someone to be like, hey, have you guys seen the jokes Enzo's been making on his dumb YouTube channel where he makes fun of shitty movies? I would love for that person to like come out and be like, yo, this guy is a problem because of what he says on his dumb YouTube channel where he makes fun of dumb movies. It's like, are you hearing yourself right now? You sound like a crazy person.
You need to apologize. You all can kiss my rebel dick.
Kiss my balls. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it's like I'm self-employed, and also I just don't really give a shit. Like I feel like the tides are turning. It's hard to tell right now because we're like, the storms, the night's darkest before the dawn, whatever. But like, eventually, sooner than we think, a lot of these SJW types, like they're gonna be like talking about how like, oh yeah, I was never woke.
Oh, you're already seeing it. Oh no, I wasn't a part of that. I was the more moderate. Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
It was fucking Dana Carvey. It was like Dana Carvey and someone else making fun. Oh, David Spade and Dana Carvey making fun of the vaccine all of a sudden on some radio podcast thing they were doing, making fun of Fauci. It's like now that it's safe to make fun of them, it's like people were losing their channels and livelihoods for saying this shit a few years ago. But now that it's okay to joke about it because it's so painfully fucking obvious.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on, Yeah,
and even like even other stuff like, what was it, John, when Depp and Herb were happening, man, I've seen freaking channels being slain for like, hey, maybe Johnny Depp isn't guilty, maybe Amber Heard is guilty, and YouTube wasn't having that shit.
Shut up, you misogynist.
Yep.
I mean,
people actually thought we'd be in a better society. Think for yourself. It's not too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem is that you have a lot of people that think that history is some sort, because again they kind of buy into this the cheap dime store version of Marxism where history is some force that moves towards an end, right? I don't know if you've reviewed history, but most of it is involved a lot of totalitarianism and oppression, and we're kind of an odd blip on the radar, and it's not that hard to revert back, right? Which is kind of what we've been going now. The only way that you're going to not end up being like the rest of history is to push back and kick people in the balls over it.
Yeah. Well, I love the line in Star Troopers where it's like, the freedom to think for yourself is the only freedom anyone really has. Use that freedom, Rico. Make up your own mind.
I'm doing my part.
Think for yourself. God damn it! Why do I have to fucking hold your hand and tell you what to do?
The core made
but
me.
We should just trust the experts. Fuck them.
Yeah,
my comments are getting shadow blocked.
Yeah, I had 3 different comments about a movie blocked all of a sudden.
What movie?
Shockwaves, The Northern English Bastard was talking about Horror Express, and I was trying to recommend Shockwaves to him, and it was blocked on my computer and my phone.
Wow.
But you said maybe because you said Shockwave earlier? I don't know. I don't understand.
Well,
I think you're spamming the
it's
chat.
a right-wing dog whistle.
Oh, maybe.
So is the StreamYard logo.
Seen what Canada's doing these days with C11, the way they're evolving it?
I can't believe what's going on in Canada.
Yeah, the podcast stuff.
Yeah,
like
the
all these...
podcast one where you have to register over $10 million if you're making a certain amount of revenue and stuff, and make sure
if you have
it's
a certain amount of subscribers, I guess.
Here's the thing:
you have to submit your scripts.
It's bad enough like we're gonna censor you, but now you have to pay us to do it. It's like fuck off. Go to hell.
Please continue to make the case for bombing Canada. I mean,
it's always a reason. It's always a reason to. It's just like climate change. It's all just a bullshit excuse to line their pockets with more money somehow from us.
I mean, this grift ain't going to grift itself.
I mean, honestly, like with YouTube, like here's to be fair. To be fair, like if YouTube were suddenly like, "Hey, motherfucker, we're tired of giving you terabytes of free video footage that you upload every fucking week on this stupid YouTube channel of yours. You're gonna have to start paying for this shit."
Well, that's Twitch, not YouTube. YouTube's making fucking billions, but Twitch is drowning. Like apparently, it costs them like $50 an hour to host live streams on Twitch, and they're losing.
Awesome.
I mean, how unusual for Amazon to have a money-losing venture.
They don't care.
I mean, in Canada, like the government in the year 2001 sold the liquor stores and the beer stores. That would be the most profitable thing. Why would you sell that? You can make so much money off liquor. Like there's so many other ways the government can make money. Why can't they just leave us alone and go, why don't they regulate weed and take tax off that more than anything?
Well, so a couple things.
One, small percentage, but not.
Go take a look at California. California has somehow managed to make selling weed legally a money-losing proposition because regulation, bitches, right?
Right. And no bank.
This is not about money.
If you're selling weed, even legally in a state in the United States, because federal law hasn't changed.
Because federal law is still in there,
so
right?
The banks will touch you.
Don't ever presume that government is there about the money. Right? They don't give two shits about the money. They care very much about the power.
They can print it as fast as they want.
Yeah.
Right. Well, go take a look at every busybody you've ever met. Those are the people that love to be in government.
Yeah.
The hall monitor, the kid that volunteered to be the hall monitor. That's the motherfucker that's running for office.
Tracy Flick from Election. Remember that movie with Reese Witherspoon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember
Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick is trying to kill it. Yeah, trying to keep her from winning.
Reese Witherspoon did one good movie. It's called Freeway with
we did a watch of that. Me and Meg did a watch of that a long time ago.
I like that movie.
It's a good one. But she's great in Election. I like Election. I like Pleasantville. I like
Pleasantville too. Yeah, that was good.
Even though that movie's about the corruption of society. Yeah. I don't really like music biopics too much.
Can someone explain to me what the C11 situation is?
Oh, these Canada censorship bills. C11 is to control the information, like the podcasts, I guess is what Amateur Analysts is saying. So C18 is the one that starts, I guess, taxing, monopolizing, owning everything. This is where, because I remember what you were saying, Josh, is you have to register a certain amount. So if Spotify is hosting a podcast like Joe Rogan and they say something bad, then Spotify is responsible.
So it started with C11. And what C11 does is, in short, I did a lot of research into this. I'm very against C11. I don't think it's a good thing. Basically, it promotes Canadian content. But what Canadian content promotes is up to the government. So basically, on your For You page, on YouTube, on Netflix, they will automatically recommend Native affairs. They'll recommend Quebec history, but it has to be 50-50. So you're going to get all these different politics because they're not going to recommend the Canadian YouTuber like Tyler. They're not going to recommend the yoga instructor, the person who bakes cookies. They're going to recommend Canadian politics to that. Now, C11 goes farther than that, where it restricts all news on Facebook. So basically, news outlets are now screwed out of it. And then since they got C11 to pass, and if you watch JJ McCullen on YouTube, he explains it beautifully better than I can. They said, "What, you don't like Canadian content? What, you don't like French content?" And he's like, "No, We want people to have the freedom to choose what recommends on their For You page. Maybe you like horror movies, maybe you like cats, whatever. The point being is you should not be regulated on what you can see on YouTube. And it's basically because the CRTC, which is our governing body for all this, no one watches cable anymore. So they're trying to control Netflix and YouTube. Yeah. And then going farther than that is C8C and C19, which is basically saying we need to control podcasts. They want to control what people hear and say. And it's most definitely a power thing in this case, because people are starting to, think one way or the other, and it's negative and positive. But if I go on my YouTube feed, I'm not watching Canadian content. I've been commenting fuck C11 on anything that's got French content or anything that's politics they're shoving down my throat, because I'm getting politics on TikTok and Instagram, but I can't watch a news story on Facebook. It's just people trying to control what we see.
That's fucked.
And then it's awful. C11 is terrible. Now half my TikTok feed is like Quebecois, whatever. Fuck the French. It's gone so far now with C18 and C11 and C19 that if you're an actor in Quebec, and this is a very real thing, and I have a couple actors who speak French, like they are now meeting a quota in the workplace where you have to speak 100% fluent French or they can't employ you. It doesn't matter about your skills. It doesn't matter about anything. You're out. And it's also on sets now too. So now if you can speak 100% fluent French, you are in. They've got monitors that go around to sets. And if you don't email your correspondents in Montreal, Quebec, wherever you want to be in the province, you can get fined up to $10,000. The only English speaking you can physically do on a film set or in most employee places is speaking to an English customers. Otherwise, you have to speak French. They're starting to enforce it in Quebec. It's terrifying what they're doing. I mean, Hallmark movies, the actors would have to, so say Hallmark movie shooting in Quebec. It's beautiful. You fall in love. Every single crew person needs to be 100% fluent in French. Every 50% of media promoted in Canada needs to be how great Quebec is, Indigenous rights. It's not about the person. It's about promoting politics. And that's where C11 falters. And it's a scary thing. It's terrifying.
This is the fucked up outgrowth of what happened to SCTV that gave us the Great White North, where they said you have to have 5% Canada content or whatever, so they got these two hosers drinking beer and farting, and to get around it, they would shoot it raw with no script. But this is like the totalitarian version of it. That's
terrible. Yeah, wow. I mean, look at it. They started in the 80s with music.
The Season of the Witch with Nicolas Cage, Northern English Bastard. That's the one he's recommending. Also, Northern English Bastard, we haven't talked about Plan 9, but Plan 9 from Outer Space is one of those movies I would like to see remade totally serious. Kind of like Evil Dead was remade. Like, do like Plan 9, but for real. Like, really scary. Aliens show up and fucking make the dead come to life. Like, do it.
Who would you get to direct?
I don't care.
Isn't that Night of the Comet?
Yeah, exactly. It is like that. I love Night of the Comet, by the way. But like, let's try to do a modern one. Modern Night of the Comet. Call it Plan 9 from Outer Space, or just Plan 9. I would go see the shit out of that.
Villeneuve tackling that.
I mean, not even just like even if it had more of a hokey vibe, I don't care as long as it's legit scary. RRT and Z. I used to live in Canada in the 80s. It was great. Sucked now though.
Well, they did promote 25% Canadian music on the radio at the time, so that's why stuff like Lover. There's a distance between our 80s music and their 80s music. Like if I said, "Oh my goodness, have you heard the deep cuts of Loverboy?" No, you haven't heard it. Honeymoon Suite, like Feel It Again. They had all these hits like Chilliwack. You don't know what Chilliwack is. You don't need to know what Chilliwack is. But
just knows Working for the Weekend.
Yep, but they were huge.
Everybody's working.
Hot Girls in Love.
Yeah, there were some bands like Triumph genuinely were fantastic, but look, it's just
you already subjected us to Rush for far too long. So
Rush is brilliant.
You're here trying to argue us that we should listen to more Loverboy. Oh my god,
Loverboy is overrated, but Rush.
You want a piece of my heart?
I love Rush.
You better stop from the start.
Yeah, I'll take Neil Peart, and everybody else can kind of fuck off for a while.
Geddy Lee is an acquired taste. I give it that. It's sort of like you either like Bono or not. I don't.
I guess it would depend what era.
Bono
That's
sucks.
fair, but I just don't like his voice.
It's kind of like NXS. Look,
Oh,
I like
yeah.
Shabu Shaba. After that, fuck it.
Rush, amateur analyst, a massive Rush fan.
That is a great South Park clip. They open that with every concert when they toured, you know.
Oh, I love on South Park when they make fun of Bono, where he's going to Africa and he's just like, yeah.
Oh my God, fuck Bono.
It's so funny.
I'm still happy that South Park uses Primus's music for their theme song.
Did you get to see the concert they did with Primus and everything? It was awesome.
Not live.
That would be great.
I've watched it on YouTube. It was fantastic.
Oh man, Northern English Bastard in the chat just brought up Night of the Comet, which is one of my favorite movies from back in the day. I love that movie.
Well, that's because I brought it up, you ass clown.
Yeah.
Well, shit, I was off taking a leak.
That's a fun ass movie for sure. And I mean, peak 80s too. Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
It holds up.
Josh is my people. Canadians?
What about Tyler? Tyler's great. Has he been on? I mean, I know I missed the other week, but Tyler's been on, right?
Tyler's usually on when we do these early. Which maybe next week I'll try to do early before 8, like 4 to 8, 4 to 7 kind of thing.
Me and Tyler live like.
I thought you were going to do that this week.
Same part of Canada.
Yeah. I had too much to do today. I was planning on doing that, but I'm going out of town tomorrow. And I
was like, okay, I'm gonna get make sure this whatever. Nah, my balls are sitting here shaved with nobody rubbing them. That's terrible.
Yeah, my bad.
For every commercial.
I thought about messaging y'all before and letting y'all know, but I was like, just let them know on the stream.
I was watching Expendables 4. I couldn't have joined earlier. I had a good time.
Sponsored by Manscaped, Raid of Shadows.
Manscaped with a K. There you go.
I keep getting so much spam in my Instagram and people want me to sponsor thing. I have like 50 followers and they're my friends. I'm like, this has to be a scam. No one would pay me money or give me free merch.
Well, that's because it's a scam.
Friends.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
I want a free iPad. Fuck you guys.
Well, back when I used to stream on Facebook during the COVID days, I had a friend who was like worked in brand ambassador for like a liquor company, and she was like talking about having me like do shots and stuff of her booze on stream. I was like, yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Never heard about it. And I was like, it's like, you fucking okay. I'm still here. Still waiting.
I remember the good old days when they used to send out really hot girls to bars to pimp liquor.
Yeah, street teams. Yeah.
How hard is it to sell liquor? It gets you drunk. People like that. That
they used to give away cigarettes too.
The beer, the drink, the whatever.
Well, I mean, Camel used to throw in like goodies when they were pimping the Joe Camel stuff with Camel Lights, or it was like, you can get a koozie and you can get the ashtrays and all kinds of. They had a catalog that actually folded out from each pack. You fold it out and find things you could order.
Marlboro
Camel
had that
Bucks.
Too. I had 2 Marlboro mag lights.
Yeah,
and a nice crystal ashtray.
I remember back in the 70s when people would get the stamps and fill them in.
Green stamps. Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah, from your smokes.
Oh, yeah.
Primus opening for U2 sounds fucking weird to me, but okay. 1990 was a wild time.
Weirder.
I was watching that Simpsons episode last night, actually, where Mo is like trying to go get a date, and he goes to a club. And it was like Jay was saying, it's like he goes and there's like a beautiful woman at a table. He's like, hi, may I sit here? He's like, sure. Would you like to have a refreshing Bacardi Fresca? It's like, no. I was like, or maybe you'd like to have one of our delicious Bacardi twisted teas. And it's like, sure, whatever. He's like, you can love the Bacardi freshness. He's like, it sounds like you work for Bacardi. He's like, no, I'm in love with you. She like rolls her eyes and says, and then she like walks off. It's so bad.
It's basically just the Wayne's World clip. They're not sponsored by it. But
right.
I love that part.
It's a great clip.
Yeah, when I was in Silicon Valley, they used to get girls from San Jose State to go out to the bars, different liquor companies. But I distinctly remember the Goldschlager girls showing up. And they would work with the bars to have specials on whatever alcohol they were pimping at that time. But we were a .com group, and our VP of sales was like 24, I mean, he's a hell of a salesman, but he was also 24. So he's spending like a madman, and the girls just lock on to our table. And we were tipping so well. I don't know how many shots I have, but I know they started serving the shots in highball glasses, and I had 10 of those. And we had been going for a while before that. And there was a sudden moment where I realized how drunk I was. And I was like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. And so I go, and I stood there and I was like, I can't hit the urinal. I'm going to have to sit down like a girl. And so I go in, and then I realized I'm going to be throwing up now. And so I go, Ralph, and then all of my buddies are sitting around, and it's because they're pretty drunk too. And they're like, where is Jay? And how long has he been gone? And I don't know. And so they go and check on me, and I had locked myself in the stall. But every time the door would open, I would yell at the top of my voice, which is not insubstantial, don't drink the Goldschlager. And so they went and got the bouncer, who was an offensive lineman for San Jose State, to help get me up. And so he opens the door and he looks, and my pants are around my ankles. And he says, I'll pick him up, but one of you has to pull his pants up. And so my buddy says, like, yeah, okay. So he does it, and then they're carrying me out to the car, and the guy's complaining about how much I weigh. What I was only like maybe 215 at the time, right? And I didn't start calling him a big pussy, which is a problem because this guy's probably like 285. But he realizes I'm drunk off my fucking ass. So that was a Friday night. I showed up to work on Monday. I was still hungover. I don't know how I survived that weekend.
Yeah, Goldschlagged.
Yeah, don't drink the Goldschlager. That's all I got to say.
Or the Jaeger. Do not.
No, fuck Jaeger. I hate licorice anyway.
Ugh, God.
Is that what it is? It's licorice flavor?
Yeah, don't do it. It's
absinthe is very licorice flavored. I didn't realize that that was something I was like dabbling in when I was early 20s.
This tastes like ass. Yes, it does.
This tastes like licorice. I don't like licorice.
The thing is, like Jägermeister and Goldschlager and all that stuff, it's the sugar content that fucks you.
Yeah. That's why you gotta do like one shot and max that shit. Ugh.
I don't know. I'm an IPA guy. I'll get an 18% IPA that tastes like motor oil. That's my type of drink.
Yeah.
It's like a buddy of mine that used to always get Guinness, and he'd be like, "Don't you like Guinness?" I was like, "No, I'm not big on leaves and twigs in my beer."
I'm a film
Guinness.
nerd. Of course, I drink.
Guinness has like the most calories and like the least alcohol content of most beers.
It's a meal in itself, but I can pound Guinness for some reason.
I can't stand it.
I like black and tans with Guinness. Mix Guinness with something else.
Bass.
No, it's like people asking for Irish car bombs. No, I'm out. Bye.
No, it's cottage cheese, dude. Before it even hits your stomach. It's
exactly.
Disgusting.
White Russians. I like White Russians.
I can't do dairy and booze together.
Milk and vodka and Kahlua. Yummy.
I can't abide.
I mean, I put apple cider in my coffee tonight. It wasn't terrible. It tasted like warm apple juice.
Yum.
I mean, if you're gonna spice up your coffee, just go full Irish and throw some whiskey.
Northern English bastard hates sambucas. Always ended up hating my friends when they got rounds and shots of the stuff. I prefer whiskey.
Is sambuca that weird like moldy bean thing?
I don't know.
They serve it with coffee beans.
Kombucha. That's the weird, gross stuff.
No, kombucha is something else. Sambuca is something else.
Kombucha is like seaweed, isn't it?
Sambucha, kombucha is a fermented mushroom soda. Yeah,
it's a mushroom.
Fermented mushroom soda that hippies drink.
Sambuca
is what is sambuca?
It's licorice. It's anise.
Oh,
anise.
But they serve it with coffee beans in it. There's always like 3 coffee beans in it. It's like Tres Mosca or something like that. I don't speak Greek.
Whatever happened to an old fashioned or just a martini or something simple?
We have them here every night.
You're too young to remember the rebooted martini craze that happened in the early 2000s. Where
Die Another Day?
No, it was not only that, but you had apple teenies and all this stupid shit. Yeah, it was
Cosmos in martini glasses.
Yeah, Cosmos and martinis.
Martinis.
Vodka martinis, Wrong.
You
dirty.
don't just watch James Bond movies and make your own martinis just for fun.
No, I think it was there was like this kind of retro reboot, idea of the early 2000s where it was, we're going to go back to like classic mixed drinks or whatever, except we're going to fuck it up because we just came out of the 90s
without the class.
Stupid. Yeah.
No, a Vesper is good. A Vesper, I think it's 2 or 3 parts vodka, 1 part gin, lemon peel. It's actually pretty good. I'll stand by a Vesper.
Amateur analyst, have you ever tried Malort? That is the worst alcohol. It's so weird. Malort, it's a real thing. Basically some insane booze made out of
people have tried to give me Fernet before, and I just put it back.
I mean,
Fernet's bad too, though.
If you're bold, just go to South America where they chew up fruits and spit it out and then let it ferment.
Oh yeah, they bury it and then you like drink it later or whatever.
I'm not going back.
First, it's chewed because the saliva is what helps break it down. I'm out.
Yummy.
That's Pruno,
like
man.
Some old lady. Yeah, Pruno. Yeah,
that's prison
wine.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think a Bud Light is worse. Have you had that? Just tastes like piss.
The Bud Light Lime is particularly awful.
Yeah,
all that
dude,
stuff. That's a Canadian brand. It's just as bad.
I think the worst. Well, I mean, other than I had a great uncle who was notoriously cheap, and he gave us some beers that I think my brain is intentionally blocked out whatever the hell the brand was because it just it wanted nothing to do with it. I took one sip and then just stood there and talked to him until he walked away so I could throw the can away. But the other terrible beer that I recall buying and regretting was Keystone Dry.
Ew.
This was a thing in the very early 90s when everybody was coming out with dry beers, and it was complete ass. But thankfully, my buddy, because we had bought a case of this shit, his grandpa used to have like he had a huge garden and he grew hot peppers, and so he made this really spicy tomato juice. So we just drowned this thing to make red beers and drank that just to kill the taste of it. Oh my God, you took a sip and it was like, get me a straight razor, I need to shave my tongue.
Yeah, any cheap lager like that's not good is bad.
I remember drinking
malt liquor bowl,
drinking beer mimosas one morning, like after partying all night, just having beers with like Grand Marnier in them. Just
first thing I ever got drunk on was hams. I had a 40 of hams refreshing. Oh my God.
From the land of sky blue waters.
Water.
I'm pretty sure the drinks in Hull are watered down. Could have a good 5 pints and be fine. Went up to Pocklington for a friend's BBQ. Had a few in the pubs after. Was pissed drunk after 4. Watering down booze is a sin.
Yeah,
it's alcohol abuse.
What else is a sin is college bro ordering Jager bombs. Just stop it.
Oh, fuck that shit. Fuck that.
First time I went to Toronto, I was not used to high proof beer at all. And it was like the middle of a hot day. Me and my girlfriend, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, we had like 2 pints each and we were staggering down the street.
Yeah, it's also not a very fun drunk, strong beer.
Not in the sun. No.
Yeah, no. It's end of the day
drunk.
Some
extra dehydration to it as well. I remember wandering around Edmonton trying to find a liquor store that I had to walk, I don't know, like 5 or 6 blocks. And I walked in and the selection was absolute dog shit. I mean, it was just basically every generic beer and that's it. Because I was like, I'm not drinking liquor. I'm here on business. This will fuck me up. But I think I ended up having to settle for like Budweiser or something like that because everything else is just shit.
It's a war crime.
You got to go to your local.
It's like McDonald's, right? It's like, all right, I know what I'm getting. It's bland and tasteless, but
overpriced.
It's predictable. Yeah.
But it'll fill the hole. Won anything at Monopoly besides like a small fry or anything when they do that? Because I have never won a single thing.
There's a documentary on the whole scam of
the guy that fixed them.
Game. It's absolutely a scam.
Yeah.
The guy that was in charge.
It was the guy who was actually in charge at the printing company.
Started
bogarted the winning pull-offs for that. And
all the
gave them
winners
to
were like
friends of
friends
his.
and friends of friends and shit like that.
Yeah, it was like several $1,000,000.
Yeah, no, he got nailed finally, but yeah, that whole thing for the years and years that they ran it, this dude was collecting all the winning tickets.
It's still running. They just started it again.
Well, good luck.
No, the original run, which ran for, I don't know, like eight years or so before they busted this guy
in the 80s, I think.
Well, it was a big deal because I remember when everyone would always complain like nobody ever wins any of this shit.
Well, I mean, the odds are shit anyway. I mean, how many lotto winners do you know that have walked away with $1 billion? Yeah, right.
Yeah, back when people were eating like the Arch Deluxe sandwich and shit they had there and getting Monopoly cards and stuff.
They're like, oh my god, they have the McRib. Let's go grab it while we can.
Oh, yum. Limited
time. Look, I'm old enough to remember when McDonald's fries were actually made correctly with beef tallow.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, they got
in big trouble like for 1990, I think, is when oh my god, that's bad for you. Well, let's use vegetable oils, which actually ended up being worse for you.
They got in big trouble in India because they were selling the beef tallow fries without telling anybody.
Oh my god.
Send them here. I'll eat them.
Not being able to get into heaven is kind of a big deal.
That was the one thing. So I was watching somebody reviewing the first episode of Loki, and they showed whatever the hell, the female Loki or whatever it is. I have no shits to give about this series, but she walks in. It's like a 70s McDonald's, and my wife and I were watching it, and I was like, okay, couple of things. Immediately, I would say they're all going to mock you for this shit decor and fashion that you're having. Also, give me all the fries. Everybody enjoy these while you can. You're going to get fucked in 1990.
Wash them down with some delicious new Coke.
I would then provide spoilers to all the movies that are coming.
Remember when we were talking about
why
movies?
Is Loki back? Like, didn't they wrap it up at the end of the first season? I watched all that, and it felt like it came to a logical conclusion.
Well, that would beat most of Disney's series if it came to a logical conclusion.
Well, it's like they wrapped up all the storylines, and they're like,
because they have to try and build up Kang, the guy that they're probably not going to employ.
Wow, what a terrifying villain!
So boring in whatever Quantumania was.
I mean, if you're on a date with him in the back of a taxi, he is pretty terrifying. But other than that,
he's better in Creed 3.
Yeah.
At least he, had an arc. Besides, oh no, I'm bad and live in a place.
Get
the whole thing.
Buddy.
And he can kill me, but there's millions more just like me because multiverse.
Yeah.
Multiverse kills everything Marvel has going for it because then there's no more stakes. There's even less and less stakes because you can just go to another multiverse.
Yeah, time travel is a no, and
time travel's hard enough. Multiverse just makes it a shit show.
Yeah,
time travel was done well in Back to the Future. I'll give it that. Anything else, I can't say.
Right, you have to be a really, really good writer to pull off a time travel storyline that is going to work. Right now, sadly, Disney employs none of those kinds of people.
Well, I skipped She-Hulk.
But multiverse, you're twice as fucked.
That show sucks.
Well, I'm not at the point where I decided to piss in a jar or a bottle doing one of these streams. I haven't gotten to that point yet.
Well, join me.
I promise if I ever do, I'll let everyone know. I'll be like, guys,
I don't think
I'm
anyone
pissing in the jug right now.
No, you got to whip it out. Apparently, you go full Friday Night Tights.
I'd be like, guys,
yeah, make it an event.
I can't get it. I can't bounce out of this conversation just yet.
No,
promise if I ever do.
You queue up also Sprach Zarathustra, you stand up, you start to unzip the fly, do the full thing.
So do you think Zack Snyder was in a really long live stream and then he's like Grandma's peach tea? That's what a thing I should put in my movie?
I think he has a closed head injury is what I think.
Yes. I think there was some blunt force trauma to the frontal lobes at a minimum.
That guy's a mess.
There's that video of him like behind the scenes Man of Steel just like, man, I just want to see like Superman like fuck shit up, bro. That'd be awesome. It's literally what he's saying, and you're just like, what?
Yeah,
he's like a dollar store Todd McFarlane. He's just
Did anyone watch
only more
second
dude, bro.
Army of the Dead movie with the safecracker guy?
No,
the
I
one that
couldn't
you
get
couldn't
past the
see,
weird.
and then by the way, we had to replace one of the actors with some actress that just was always alone, but somehow is supposed to be part of the group.
The Vegas one?
Yeah.
No, the Vegas one was the first one. Then they made a second one with just the Safecracker character.
What?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
They made a sequel to that stunning pile of horse shit.
It didn't make
I
any
love
sense.
the
It was
dead
like
pixel.
20 plots.
The dead
Super
pixels are
zombies.
Yeah, the dead pixel is
amazing.
hilarious. Yeah.
I
You have the
think
one
it's weird.
camera with a dead pixel and the fucking sensor, and he
I
doesn't
think it's
even
weird
fix
that
it.
like Zack Snyder fanboys are still defending his movies when they're just not
To
good.
the death. To the
Yeah,
death.
they're like, it's the greatest thing ever. If you don't
They're
like
paid,
it, you're wrong.
these people have to be paid or something. I don't
I
understand.
think
Same
they're
thing with,
bots.
like,
I don't think they're actual real people. I think it's just automated bots that
I've seen them on streams.
He paid some Vietnamese bot farm to go out and raise it. No, we need to see the Snyder cut. Okay.
You got it. Can you be happy and leave me the fuck alone?
Yeah.
Just
All I
enjoy
had
what you
one of those
have.
dudes
No,
on.
bro, it's like it's cool and stuff. Why don't you eat some more paste?
They
It's
want
just
the
as
David Ayer
entertaining.
cut now, and I'm like, I don't care. Make it a different movie.
Snyder Bros.
You're the worst.
Not everyone's got fans. I mean, come on.
Snyder Riders.
Ahsoka has fans. Last Jedi has fans. Barbie has fans. Like,
Yeah, I mean, 300 was good. I do like the Dawn of the Dead remake in 300, and I do.
Yeah,
like
well,
Watchmen.
so 300 is different. Again, Snyder's not writing it.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Right.
You're in a much better place, and also if the studio is flying a bit of coverage, going, dude, you're huffing your own farts a bit too much.
I'll defend
Yeah, I like
Watchmen.
Watchmen.
It's got the greatest opening sequence I've seen in a movie since the 30s. Like, it's just fantastic.
But fuck Sucker Punch. I hate that movie with all my living being.
Yeah,
it
fuck
just
that shit.
pisses me off. Just that knowing it exists and I've seen it.
Masturbatory doesn't cover that. That's nightmare fuel.
It's just so
No, it's more like single player BDSM.
I do like when directors direct movies with like this one camera approach, like Snyder does do that, and some other directors do that, but it's like one camera per one shot, everything's storyboarded. It's very meticulous.
Yeah, I mean that's from a technical standpoint. I mean, for the same thing with like Gareth Edwards, right? Where look, someone who actually knows how to storyboard, who knows that okay, I have the script, I then have to figure out all of the shots, set them up. I have to have a continuity director. The basic bitch technical things that you're supposed to do when making a movie is suddenly praiseworthy now because incompetent ass clowns have been involved in movie making for far too long.
Yeah,
I will take Neil Breen over Zack Snyder any day.
Yes,
yeah, I mean the CG for Neil Breen is comparable to Flash.
Twisted Pair, man, that stuff had me engrossed. I really believe he was jumping off that fire escape
and petting lions and yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess we're at 3 hours. It's 2 a.m. here. And
yep, same here.
It's like
I'm going to drive
where I am.
to Austin tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
I think I'm going to call it, and I think we're going to go to bed, and I got lots to do tomorrow. What do you guys got planned for this week?
Well, all I know is that next stream, can we have Blue Collar talk less? I mean, the guy just dominates the stream.
He's too
You
polite.
Can't shut him up.
He's too polite with our
I
new
talked
friends.
I talked a lot more. You guys, good times listening.
There was at
Dial
least
it back,
10, 12 words total. Jeez.
It's a pleasure being on with you guys. Pleasure meeting
definitely.
you, Josh. And
I've never made it to the end of a stream.
Yeah, what's
This
the
is
next,
an achievement unlocked?
Wow, what's the next B-roll you guys got planned?
it's a secret even to me because I haven't figured it out yet.
Good.
Yeah, I'm
All
always
right.
surprised.
Every
I show
Friday
up,
night.
I haven't seen
Well,
anything.
Maybe after I get back after this past weekend in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, I'll try to sit in on one of those. Maybe.
Yeah,
we'd love to have you booked out. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Blue
every
Collar,
Friday night.
you can come to B-roll and watch it, but don't dominate the chat. I mean, just
Yeah,
try and get people some space.
I will block you.
Amateur analyst, thanks for watching, and Northern English Bastard, thanks for watching again, dude.
Yeah,
I can't believe you
people
can
in the chat. We love you.
Neil Breen. Yes, and also special thanks to Barbara and Phil and everybody else that was watching, and everybody that was at the Exorcist stream. And what do you got coming up, Emperor? Nothing besides B-roll.
Dude, I've got my AI epic is, I mean, so I think I'm at like 30 pages pre-edit.
Okay.
That needs to go down a bit because right now it's looking like an hour and a half.
You've
That's
been
excessive.
edging about that forever.
I have, because this thing. Well, the hilarious thing is, so Google's DeepMind team just came out with a paper that they submitted to Arvix that points out the fucking obvious that apparently nobody else figured out. LLMs, they're not actually trustworthy, and using 2 LLMs does not improve trustworthiness. No shit, Sherlock. But the fact that they're having to tell this to a large portion of the tech industry just shows how badly we've fallen these days.
The stockholders are going to be so pissed.
I mean, as long as they can cash out and sell it to the rubes, they're fine.
Yeah, man.
That's how most of these tech startups have been running anyway. It's the greater fool theory of investment, where as long as we can find a bigger fool to buy the shit stock from us, we're happy.
Yeah, I spent 15 years in San Francisco in the tech sector, and
oh my God,
a real business plan doesn't require an exit strategy.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Josh?
What am I do? What's going on? What's up?
What do you got going on?
What am I going on? I just directed a sick music video that'll be out at the end of the month. Assistant directed. I'm a production designer. I don't know if anyone watches James Chapesky, the musical theater madman, on YouTube. But I'm the production manager, and we were putting blood on the walls, and it was chaos. And we brought in like 4 or 5 dancers, and like we had like a 10-person crew at one point. It's really cheesy musical theater, but I was digging it. He was just featured on Curtis Connor, if anyone's familiar with him. So
great.
James Chapesky. Oh, it's whimsical, magical fun. But we got to put blood on my walls, and that's what I know. No More is the new track. Very happy with it. We're getting better and better every time. Can't wait for the Christmas video. It's going to be
awesome.
Nice.
Big into musical theater these days.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, shit. On that note, I guess.
Wait, I didn't hear what Blue Collar's working on. What the hell?
Well,
12 words or less.
Yeah, I'll ask you guys. Do you think Kill Bill is 1 movie or 2?
It's 2.
Okay.
I think it's 1.5 movies that was stretched a bit.
Yeah. No, just because tomorrow Wes wanted to do the 20th anniversary. Well, technically sorry, today, the 20th anniversary, and I'm like, well, do we watch 1 or 2 or just watch them both together?
There's a cut of them put together, right?
I always like to watch them both together, but that might be a bit much.
That's what I'm saying. But no, I was doing a question today when you guys were talking about other stuff, and I guess Quentin says he considers it to be 1 movie, but he couldn't release a 4-hour cut in theaters. So even for Quentin, he's like, I consider it not to be 2 films.
That's fair.
Yeah, I always thought it was a single movie. It was just from my perspective, it was just a bit long.
Yeah,
he could have cut that thing down to 3, and it probably would have been better overall.
All right, everyone's celebrating the 20th anniversary of Kill Bill this weekend, I guess.
I need to flex a little bit. So in Kill Bill 2, the Asian girl with the shotgun at the very end of the movie that comes to kill her when she's taking the pregnancy test.
Yeah,
that was my high school girlfriend, and she took my virginity.
Nice.
Oh,
true story.
Cool.
He's famous.
I freaked out in the movie theater when I saw her pop up on screen.
What?
Yeah. I had to explain.
Give me back my virginity, you warthog from hell.
Yeah, her name is Helen Kim. She did. She shot some scenes for Death Proof afterwards, and she's in the credits, but she's not in the movie. So, and then she fell off. There's nothing else on her IMDb.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think the only people that I fucked were some of my victims, but that's about it. They were famous afterwards when they found the bodies.
She did have a taste for cocaine, so that might explain it.
Yes, this is the first Friday the 13th we've got in October in a long time. So, man.
Oh yeah, Friday the 13th for real.
That's why I said what I'm gonna do with Enzo. I'm gonna prepare for that movie because man, it's been so long since I've watched it. And I just remember it being kind of fucking boring.
I'll be partying at this Eclipse party.
Can you just play the game instead? I feel like that would be more.
Oh yeah, the game, the NES game
is fun. I was thinking the one where you can be the killer and you run around.
I know.
So I had fun with that on the Xbox.
That one's got some good elements to it.
The NES game has evil bats that can kill you. It makes no sense.
Friday the 13th, the series. There you go. All right, guys. Well, on that note, I guess thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I guess we're gonna sign us off then. Or wait, I don't have to do it like that. Wait, let's do it like this. I will bring everyone back, but I will just go like that. There we go. And I'll play my
cold, and I was alone.
I'll play my sign-out music. All right, guys. Well, the werewolf. We had Beast from Haunted Cave. We had Trilogy of Terror, Vampire Bat, Horror Express, Monster in the Closet, Dracula 2000, Wasp Woman. Today we had the Blob come out 2 days ago, and the Devil's Hand, and then just now, we got the Invisible Ghost. Pretty good. So again, thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Tales from the Dorkside. Having a great time talking about The Exorcist and Exorcist Believer. We didn't talk about that too much, but yeah, the movie sucked. It wasn't good. But yeah, it's been great having you guys. And yeah, I think I'm going to end this music early because I am fucking sleepy. Anyway, thanks again, you guys. Appreciate, love y'all. Thanks for watching. How many times can I say thanks for watching? Say it a few more times. Thanks for watching, guys.